We now proceed to the next item of the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the deferment of the reading of the minutes of the previous committee meeting.
Any second to the motion?
I second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Any objection? There being none, the approval of the minutes of the organizational meeting held last September 7, 2016 is hereby dispensed with. May I request now the committee secretary to please acknowledge the members present and the resource persons and our guests invited for today's hearing. Members present.
The following are members who are present in today's hearing. The Honorables Reynaldo Umali, Harry Roque, Henry Uwaminal, Arnolfo Teves, Arlene Brosas, Robert Ace Barbers, Greg Gasatava, Representatives Josephine Ramirez Sato, Eugene De Vera, Lucy T. Gomez, Antonio Bravo, Abraham Tolentino, Horacio Swansing, Lawrence Fortun, Rani Abo, Alfredo Garbin, Ruel Peter Gonzaga, Fred Castro, Rufi Biazon. Also, Representatives Romeo Acop, Arthur Defensor, Vicente Broso, Celso Lobigat, Ann Hofer, Ferdinand Hernandez, Isagani Zarate, Representatives Lito Atienza, Jerry Trenas, de Terrera, D. Anne-Marie Villarasa Juarez, and also Representative Juliet Ferrer, and Representative Sherwin Tugna, and our Majority Leader Rudy Fariñas. Alis po.
Parating ba si Speaker? What about the resource persons and our guests, our invited guests who are present? Page. Asan ang page? Yung guest.
Guest natin.
Registered guest. Yung mga hindi pa na...
Tapos na po.
Saan na? Saan na yung guest?
Yung mga guests natin.
Ang dagdag pa si Kong Salo. Kasi Delphin.
Saan yung guest?
We also recognize the presence of Honorables Isagani Zarate and Ron Salo. Your Honor, we also have Representative Aurelio Dong Gonzalez and Representative Enrico Pineda.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so sorry that we did not anticipate that this committee hearing will be as big as this. As you may have known, we have silence please. We have set this in rooms 1 and 2 of the Mitra building, but then there was a request because we somewhat anticipated that the crowd will be bigger, but then we did not expect that this will be this big. So I have already talked to Attorney Arlene Dada, Deputy Sec Gen of the House of Representatives, if we can find a bigger room that will accommodate all of us in the succeeding hearings that we will conduct. Of course, for your information, this committee hearing we will try to extend it as far as practicable, and we will also hold another committee hearing tomorrow because we had to do this because plenary budget deliberations will start on the 26th. So this was the reason why we had to lump all of the three legislative measures in this hearing so that we can really act with dispatch on urgent matters, most especially that the President himself had already called the attention of Congress to hasten the hearings, especially on the death penalty bill, restoration bill, and the lowering of juvenile age, and of course this much awaited resolution 105 that we will also cover in today's hearing. Meron na ba? So while we await, so can I request now the COMSEC to please acknowledge the invited guests and resource persons present.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Deputy Speaker.
I appreciate the statement of the chairman that indeed in this room we are crowded. But I think being crowded is not a problem. All that we have to do is to request silence and order among all those who are around so that the proceeding may proceed smoothly, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that reminder, Deputy Speaker, and that manifestation is well noted. So we request everyone to please observe silence, and we request everyone to act in accordance with how we will be able to dispense with the measures at hand promptly and effectively. So let me enjoin everyone to please observe silence and the proper decorum. Thank you. May I request now the committee secretary to acknowledge the invited guests and resource persons.
Yes, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our guests and resource persons. Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre II, the DOJ Secretary.
Minority, wala pa.
Chief Public Attorney, Attorney Parcida R. Acosta. Solicitor General Jose Caguiwa. Assistant Solicitor General Rex Pascual.
Excuse me, it's Kalida, not Kagiwa.
Kalida, sorry po. Kalida. Assistant Solicitor General Rex Pascual. Police Chief Superintendent Nestor Kensai Jr. Police Chief Superintendent Augusto Marquez Jr. Police Chief Superintendent Benjamin Luzad. From PNP, Mr. Benjamin Magalong. Attorney Roselyn Borja from PIDEA. Director Wilkins Villanueva, also from PIDEA. Attorney Karina Aquino, also from PIDEA. Attorney De Los Santos from Department of Justice. Attorney Eric Balmes from the Department of Justice. Attorney Enan Orco from the Department of Justice. Attorney Antonio Co from the Department of Justice, Attorney Raymond Mecate from the Department of Justice, Mr. Juvencio Ablen Jr. from the National Bureau of Investigation, and Mr. Rafael Ragos, also from the National Bureau of Investigations.
Comsec, I did not hear the names of
Benjamin.
the director of NBI. Is he here? Geran.
Your-
Superintendent Rabo, nandyan ba?
Yes, sir.
Nandyan. Chief PNP Ronald De La Rosa? Wala.
Sir, wala pa po dito sa ating
They might be represented by General Magaro.
Yusek La Peña of PIDEA? Nandyan? Represented din. Si Special Action Force? Lusad? Wala rin? Nandyan? IBP President, is she here? No representative from IBP. VACC. Boy Evangelista, is she around?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's there. Just arrived.
Ganun ba? Can we still accommodate him in the table? Paki-check lang. Benjamin Reyes of DDB. Ayan. Okay. So anyway, let me just remind those invited guests that that invitation is addressed to the heads of offices, and we feel that it is important that their personal presence is here. But of course, for today's hearing, we will dispense with their presence. They may have many other matters to attend to, but I would just like to stress the importance of this hearing, as may be shown by the many people, including the media that are around. This seems to be a matter that ought to be in the priority of the different heads of agencies invited. So, having said that, I'd like to bid everyone a pleasant morning. The President has overwhelmingly won on a platform of anti-criminality, anti-corruption, and anti-drugs. The President walked his talk as he vigorously pursued his campaign promises to the point of now being confronted with issues such as the extrajudicial killing. Interestingly, majority of the people seem apathetic to this issue, presumably because of the breakdown in the criminal justice system or people's lack of confidence thereto. People are so afraid to even testify for fear that police or investigators, or even prosecutors and judges will bungle their jobs. Worse, people will now become more fearful because their perception that justice has been served is breached by mismanagement or even corruption in the penitentiary. No wonder convicted felons feel at home in the penitentiary because they can continue their trade therein and even live luxurious lifestyles. Taking the cue therefrom, the Justice Committee of the 17th Congress aims to be more relevant and responsive to the President's call and the Speaker's directive to pursue a holistic policy reform agenda towards regaining the people's trust and confidence on the criminal justice system. To this end, we have restructured and empowered the subcommittees to pursue the needed reforms. And I'd like to give a rundown of the subcommittees and their chairpersons that we have activated. First is the Subcommittee on Investigation and Enforcement Reforms, and this will be chaired by Vice Chairman Representative Strike Revilla. So we hope that all of the reforms needed to address all the lapses in the conduct of the enforcement and or even investigation will be covered by the subcommittee. Second is the Subcommittee on Prosecutorial Reform to be chaired by Representative Paulino Salvador Doy Liachon. And the Vice Chairman here will chair it, and we expect that all reforms needed in the prosecution service will be addressed by this subcommittee. Then comes judicial reform. Subcommittee on Judicial Reform that will be chaired by Vice Chairman Representative Vicente Ching Veloso, a former Justice of the Court of Appeals, to handle all reforms needed in the judiciary and the performance of these judicial functions. And then likewise, we will cover, as we are in fact covering in this committee hearing, the needed reforms in the correctional pillar of the criminal justice system. So a subcommittee on correctional reform to be headed by Vice Chairman Henry Owaminal to handle all sorts of reforms needed in the Bureau of Prison and all other penitentiaries and jails that we have in this country. Of course, we have our fifth Vice Chairman, Representative Arnulfo Noli Fuentebella, who will also chair the Subcommittee on Immigration, Deportation, and Naturalization. We have another committee, Special Concerns, but we are still awaiting the election of the Vice Chairman who will handle special matters like, of course, land registration, the IBP, and other aspects that we have not covered in the mandate of the Committee on Justice. So under the rules, members of the committee may choose which subcommittee they wish to be part of, provided that a member may be a member of only one subcommittee. I would like to request that those who wish to be members of a subcommittee to inform the committee secretary, subject to equitable distribution of membership. My intention is to activate all of these subcommittees so as not to lose time in hearing measures that are vital to the reforms mentioned. Now, for part one of today's committee hearing, there are two such measures that require our immediate attention since they are priority measures mentioned by the President no less during his SONA and by the Speaker during the opening of the first regular session. These are: one, the restoration of the death penalty for heinous crimes, and two, the lowering of the minimum age of criminal responsibility. There are currently 7 House bills on restoring the death penalty and 4 bills on lowering the minimum age of criminal responsibility. Likewise, I have a letter from Honorable Kakabag-Aw, who wishes that her House Resolution 241, entitled a resolution directing the Congressional Committee on the Welfare of Children to conduct an inquiry in aid of legislation on the effectiveness of Republic Act 9344 as amended by Republic Act 10630, otherwise known as the Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act, and its impact on children of if the minimum age of criminal responsibility is lowered, to be covered by this particular hearing. At any rate, we will just give a brief moment for the sponsor or sponsors of this bill to introduce the subject, and what we will do thereafter is just download it or refer it to the respective subcommittees, so that we can now proceed with the awaited hearing on House Resolution 105, which was filed on July 21, 2016, and this is authored by Representative the Speaker, Bebot Alvarez, the Majority Floor Leader, Rudy Fariñas, our Deputy Speaker, Rani Abu, Congressman Duavit, Acop, Nograles, Suarez, Treñas, Tolentino, Liachon, and Martinez. So, having said that,
Mr. Chairman,
please, Your Honor.
I move that with respect to paragraphs A and B of Roman numeral number 4, the explanatory notes of the bills will be considered already as the sponsorship speech, so that we refer them to the proper subcommittee already.
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded, so there being no objection, the same House Bill numbers 116, 513, 3237, 3239, 3240, and 3418 is hereby referred to the subcommittee on judicial reform. While House Bills numbers 2, 505, 1609, and 209 is hereby referred to the two subcommittees on prosecutorial reform and correctional reform. So you are hereby directed to immediately carry out the mandate of your subcommittees, so that you can report it out to the mother committee for appropriate disposition.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair. A point of
yes, Your
inquiry
Honor.
lang po. Mr. Chair, this representation delivered a privileged speech on August 2, putting on record the position of Gabriela Women's Party, as well as the position of different children's organizations opposing the lowering of the minimum age of criminal responsibility of children. I believe that my speech has been referred to the Committee on Rules and to the Committee on Justice last September 6, 2016. I would like to know if it can be included, since you said that it will be referred to the subcommittee. I would like to express my, I would like to put forward my intent to be a part of this subcommittee, because I am not, I'm still not forward my intent to be a member of the Committee on Justice.
Okay, so the committee takes note of that. I hereby request the COMSEC to please validate whether this privilege, is it a resolution or privilege? A privilege speech has been referred by the Committee on Rules to the Committee on Justice, and we still have vacant membership positions. You might wish to, at the proper time, make representations with the leadership for your membership to this committee and the subcommittee.
Mr.
Thank you very
Chairman.
much,
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, please, Deputy Speaker.
from the explanation of the chair, there being other measures with similar subject matter as House Bill number 1, that is the reimposition of death penalty. May I therefore move that all these bills be consolidated and House Bill number 1 be the surviving bill. I move, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby direct the subcommittee on judicial reform to please look into this matter for appropriate disposition. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, similar motion insofar as House Bill number 2 and other pending measures with similar subject matter that they be consolidated into one, and House Bill number 2 be the surviving bill.
Same directive to the subcommittee on prosecutorial and correctional reform to take note of this and submit to the mother committee your action there too. So, having covered the first part of our agenda, we now go to House Resolution number 105. Let me just give a brief remark on this. As we now proceed to tackle resolution calling for an investigation in aid of legislation on the proliferation of drug syndicates at the National Bureau of Prison. For the record, 3 weeks ago, much as we wanted to conduct an inquiry into this issue, we could not do so because the committee has not yet been fully organized. At that time, we only have, I think, about 12 members and 2 vice chair. And likewise, the rules of procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation has not yet been published. Neither can we now postpone it for a later date because of the plenary budget hearing. So we deemed it appropriate to hear this today and tomorrow, and depending on the directive and the needs of continuously hearing on this, then we will ask the leadership if we can pursue this until we fully cover. Minded that we only have about, I think, 2 months under the rules to be able to fully dispose of this particular issue. So anyway, let me just point out also that, again, this is not about Senator Laila de Lima, who is my sister in her sorority, Lambda Rho Sigma, and this is really about the issue on the proliferation of drug syndicates in the NBP, and I would just like to disabuse the mind of my sis that this is a sham hearing and this is a kangaroo committee that is being conducted here. So, but anyway, having said that, what we need to establish are the facts needed to enable Congress to effectively perform its mandate. I do recall having been vice chair of the Committee on Justice in the last 2 Congresses, that we did conduct some investigation. But the trouble is, while we did some investigation, the problem persisted. And probably it was even aggravated. So these are the things now that we would want to put a closure on by this committee, and we want to do it as holistically as possible, covering not only the correctional aspect of the criminal justice system, but the 3 other pillars, so that the 5th pillar, and that is the community, will regain trust and confidence in the criminal justice system. Our goal is to come up with a report containing the findings of our investigation. This report will also contain our recommendations based on our findings, which will take either one of three forms or all of three. A new legislation, a remedial or a mandatory legislation, or a directive to the appropriate agency to issue the necessary administrative regulations as part of our oversight functions in Congress. With this in mind, I hope that we can conduct this investigation in an orderly fashion, and I enjoin all members to please observe the proper decorum as honorable gentlemen as we are, that we avoid going to issues on personality, but stick to the issues at hand. I understand that we have witnesses with testimonies that would help us determine the cause of the problem of proliferation of drugs and drug syndicates in the new Bilibid prison, and who among the responsible government officials before and even today are culpable through direct participation or through or gross inexcusable negligence in allowing these syndicates to proliferate while inside the supposed maximum security compound. The commitment to the NBP of persons convicted by final judgment is supposed to be the final act to the victims of criminality in this country. These convicted persons are supposed to serve their sentence as punishment imposed on them by the judiciary and be reformed. This is supposed to be the closure for the victims and their families. Unfortunately, the fact that these convicted felons are still able to continue with their illegal activities while incarcerated makes a complete mockery of our criminal justice system. It renders the justice sought by the victims and their families as mere illusions. For how can justice be truly served when the perpetrators themselves are still able to commit crimes with impunity while inside the national penitentiary? This question must be answered in this inquiry, and we must be able to get to the bottom of this issue in order to make sure we put finish to this travesty of justice. So now we would like to request first the Vice Chairman of the Subcommittee on Correctional Reforms to give his opening remarks because this is a matter really that is covered by his subcommittee. Before we proceed to the sponsors of this bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. In July this year, just as we formally ushered in a new regime that was elected on a promise to rid our beloved nation of illegal drugs and crime, the House of Representatives, through the able leadership of Speaker Alvarez and other members, filed a resolution calling for an investigation in aid of legislation on the proliferation of drug syndicates at the National Bilibid Prison. Over the past years, the Filipino people's eyes have been opened to a hard and shameful truth. While rumors abounded that the National Bilibid Prison was a hub where illegal drug trade proliferated, our eyes were fully open when a raid was conducted on December 2014 by then Secretary of Justice, now Senator Laila de Lima. The said raid, which was highly publicized, yielded shabu and other drug paraphernalias, inflatable sex dolls, a stripper bar, and jacuzzi spread across 19 air-conditioned cubicles built for convicted drug dealers. Law enforcement authorities also found in subsequent raids other prohibited items such as firearms and bladed weapons, mobile phones, flat-screen TVs, laptops, Wi-Fi, luxury watches, a sauna, and over 2 million in cash from body searches of several high-profile inmates. In the villa of Peter Co., which was linked by secret pathways to areas around the bilibid, authorities have also seized documents containing a list of names with corresponding cash amounts and dates involving drug transaction. Meanwhile, in another kubol occupied by robbery gang leader Herbert Colango, police found a music studio where he was reportedly able to produce a music video that went viral on YouTube. According to news reports, more than 30 raids have been conducted between 2014 to 2016. Yet, despite these raids, the current realities show that the illegal drugs trade discovered in the National Bilibid prison not only continues, but actually thrives. Are we to deduce that the illegal drug trade, we should stress, within government property has proliferated because it has actually been allowed to by people in power? Or are we to surmise that because of overcrowded cells, the task of discovering and addressing has become a sheer impossibility for our prison stewards? We must find out whether those tasked with supervising our prisons have turned a blind eye on this phenomenon. Is there truly a shabu factory inside, or was shabu allowed to be transported inside prison grounds? Of those raids, were those conducted merely for show, to gain popularity in aid of election, or perhaps to gain leverage for drug lords operating within the NBP? And why is it that cellular phones, supposedly prohibited, and which is the means by which the illegal drug trade is facilitated, continue to be confiscated from the inmates? Again, we come down to the crux of this issue. Why were we unable to stop such flagrant defiance of our laws inside a government institution and manned by employees of the government nonetheless? Instead, the situation has become so dire that our Special Action Force troopers, the creme de la creme of our law enforcement units, have been tasked with guarding the NBP. It is in this regard that we have invited today the executive branch, particularly the Secretary of Justice, Honorable Vitaliano Aguirre, under whose jurisdiction the Bureau of Corrections and NBP fall under, along with the heads of other agencies involved in combating illegal drugs, such as the PDEA, one of his representatives of Director General Lapina, who is on official travel, the able, energetic director of NCR, Director Wilkins Villanueva, who had accomplished in padlocking so many shabu laboratories recently, and the Philippine National Police, who is whose PNP chief is represented here by General Magalong, in order to enlighten us on the Duterte's administration efforts to address the issue of proliferation of illegal drugs at the NBP. As the subcommittee's chair in charge of the correctional reforms, I believe this investigation could help us craft legislation that will reform our prison system and ensure that corruption and illegal drug trade are truly weeded out. The House of Representatives, under the leadership of Speaker Alvarez, through this committee, is intent on finding out the truth. Rest assured that we will direct this investigation so that we may be more guided in our legislative actions. We will be taking into account the possible structural, organizational, and cultural weaknesses that allow the occurrence of illegal activities in our correctional institutions. Of particular interest will be whether the time is right to finally proceed with plans to build a new prison facility in Fort Magsaysay in Nueva Ecija. According to the International Center for Prison Studies, ICPS, in 2015, our prison system is the fourth most overcrowded in the world. This committee, during the 16th Congress, upon the initiative of then Senior Vice Chair and now Majority Floor Leader Rodolfo Fariñas, had in fact proposed this mission, and the Department of Justice actually held a bidding for a public-private partnership to undertake this project. We must now ask also the Department of Justice through Secretary Aguirre as to the status of this project. The clamor from our people to thoroughly address the drugs issue has been deafening. As representatives of the people, we are duty-bound to do our part in supporting President Duterte and the government efforts to address this crisis. We now have a man at the helm who has staked his life, honor, and the presidency in order to accomplish the mandate given to him by the people. It is only proper that this august body, through the leadership of our dynamic Speaker Alvarez and the rest of the members of the lower house, lend its hand in furthering the goal of eliminating the threat of illegal drugs and upholding the people's welfare. We are conducting this investigation in our desire to correct this deplorable aberration of our government institutions, being at the mercy of individuals and groups who defy the law with impunity. We do this in our hope that those responsible for the mess we are in today are held accountable and put to justice. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair Huaminal. So now we will recognize the author of House Resolution 105, the Honorable Minority Floor Leader, Danny Suarez.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the Committee on Justice, Secretary Aguirre, distinguished research person, Your Honors. When I was minority leader during the 15th Congress, I already pointed out during our weekly minority press conferences the pandemic in the making, which is the proliferation of drugs and its allied ill effects to society. It is very unfortunate that the then powers that be took no notice. What is the result of the last 6 years under an administration which was blind to the obvious drug proliferation in our country? According to 2015 data from the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, PDEA, around 1/5 of barangay or villages in the Philippines have drug-related cases. 92% of the barangays in Metro Manila have drug-related cases. And what is painful about this data is that as early as 2012, the United Nations World Drug Report said the Philippines already has the highest rate of shabu use in East Asia. A 2012 study on drug trafficking by the Philippine Center for Transnational Crime echoes this sentiment when it stated that a total of 6,020 barangays in the country are drug-infested. Clearly, Mr. Chairman, we were not lacking in knowledge about the drug problem that early. Mr. Chairman, while a statistician can debate whether there is causality or not between the rise in drug use in the country and the rise in criminality, I think it can be safely concluded that there is indeed a direct correlation between the two. According to the Philippine Statistics Office, the total reported crimes for 2014 was 1,161,188, as compared to 2,017,812 in 2012. In the same time span, index crime rose from 129,161 in 2012 to 492,772 in 2014. In 2014, I was no longer surprised by the news that shocked the whole nation when a raid operation in the new Bilibid prison revealed that drug lords inside the maximum security compound live in a life of luxury. They have, as what mentioned by the Vice Chair, flat screen TVs, jacuzzis, refrigerators, cash, luxury watches, golf carts, electric bikes, musical instruments, and other prohibited contraband. These drug lords had the audacity to operate a nationwide drug syndicate while supposedly serving sentences for their crimes. Mr. Chairman, an operation this brazen could not have happened without the approval of several government high officials. When news broke out regarding the proliferation of drugs and the continued operation of the drug lords inside Bilibid, I was expecting that the House would conduct its inquiry in the matter. However, I'm not aware of any action on the part of the House to address this issue, which is why immediately after the start of the 17th Congress, I sought the help of the House leadership in order to determine the proper course of action. In line with the current administration drive against illegal drugs, which is undeniably, regardless of one's political affiliation, a real menace and a threat to the Filipino people, one of the persons I approached is the current Majority Leader, Rudy Pareñas, and he told me that he would ask for assistance from the current Secretary of Justice to conduct a preliminary investigation on the matter. Given this assurance, we filed House Resolution number 105 entitled Resolution Calling for an Investigation in Aid of Legislation on the Proliferation of Drug Syndicate at the National Bilibid Prison. Through this investigation, I am hopeful that we will be able to address the root of the drug problem inside the Bilibid prison, and we will determine who among the government officials responsible, if any, are involved in the proliferation and trade of illegal drugs. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that. The opening remarks of the minority floor leader is noted and well taken. We will, this is precisely what we intend to do in this committee, to look deeper into this situation besetting the National Bilibid Prison, which probably has been neglected for quite a while. At this juncture, may we now hear from one of the co-authors of this House Resolution number 105, representing the majority. We recognize Congressman Romy Acop, who is also chair of the Committee on Public Order and Security.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To the Honorable Chairman of the Committee on Justice, to the honorable members of the committee, my esteemed colleagues, guests, and fellow workers in government, a pleasant good morning. Today, this representation as a primary author has been tasked to deliver a speech before this committee in sponsorship of House Resolution number 105, which seeks an investigation in aid of legislation on the proliferation of drug syndicates at the National Bilibid Prison. This is not an easy task to do, knowing very well the sensitive nature of the subject matter of this investigation. Not only does it concern the problem of illegal drugs that threatens to destroy the very fabric of our society, but it also focuses on the state of affairs and the premier penitentiary in the country, the National Bilibid Prison, as well as on the efforts of the government to rehabilitate and reform our brothers who run afoul with the law and now in incarceration. Frankly, I have concerns that this investigation may unintendedly step on the toes of certain personalities who may be pulling strings or holding money bags in the lucrative trade of illegal drugs in and outside the Bilibid. I am also worried that political sensitivities may be unavoidably touched upon and raise hell among the onion-skinned, whose names might be dragged in the course of the investigation. But I am willing to take the chance, if only to stand for the principles that as a public servant believe in, that of pursuing integrity in the service of the people and ensuring a peaceful and drug-free society for our people to live in. I am deeply frustrated by the fact that in a supposedly tightly guarded prison facility, illegal activities like trafficking of illegal drugs, even of women, kidnapping and murders take place. Intelligence then and evidence now reveal that some high-profile inmates remain to be the central figures in the illegal drug trade, even while imprisoned. They allegedly, as what this investigation now aims to determine, collude with law enforcement officers, prison authorities, and government personnel who are reported to be in their payroll. Their network appears to be well entrenched and has become a business empire with headquarters at the National Bilibid prison. This investigation is about cleansing the principal penitentiary in the country of all the evils of drug trafficking inside the facility, which threaten the well-being not only of the inmates, but of all drug dependents who astonishingly derive their supply from the operations of drug syndicates conveniently nestled inside the National Bilibid prison. It is about calling to task the men and officers of the Bureau of Corrections for their failures in the administration of the facility that have aggravated the drug menace inside the prison and have put to doubt the efficiency and effectiveness of the government's inmate rehabilitation and reformation programs. It is time to call a spade and identify these erring custodial officials and officers who are in cahoots with the drug lords inside the prison facility who are making a kill in their profits from the illegal drug trade. It is payback time. It is time to put a new human face to the ill-reputed National Bilibid prison. I have strong faith in the able leadership of the chairman of this committee and its members that the investigation will be conducted in the spirit of utmost objectivity, fairness, and with due regard to the rule of law. At the end of the day, our common objectives remain the same: to ferret out the truth, to eliminate the drug menace in the country, and to restore the people's trust to our government. These goals we hope to attain by coming up with a proposed remedial legislation as a result of this investigation. May divine providence guide us in this endeavor. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Honorable Acop. Thank you, distinguished authors of House Resolution 105. I know that many of the members would like to say something before we even proceed, but the chair feels that to provide everyone a better perspective of this situation that we are now investigating, it would be much better if the Secretary of Justice, who has conducted an investigation into the matter, would be able to provide us a comprehensive report of what they have done so far, their findings, and what the recommendations will be for the consideration of this committee. But in the meanwhile, and pursuant to rules on legislative inquiries, we will have to request all of the resource persons who will give their testimonies before this committee to take their oath, and I hereby direct the COMSEC to please administer the oath of all those resource persons. May we request those who will enlighten this committee of on the matter to please rise and for the administration of their oath.
Please raise your right hand and follow me. I, please state your name.
Second.
Swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
Thank you, Comsec, and thank you, distinguished guest. So we now give the floor to the Honorable Secretary of Justice, Vit Aguirre.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. To all our deputy speakers present, to the chairperson of the Committee on Justice, Honorable Reynaldo Umali, to the chairperson of the Committee on Public Order, Honorable Romeo Acop, to the chairperson of the Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Honorable Robert Ace Barbers, Majority Floor Leader Rudy Pareñas, Minority Floor Leader Congressman Danny Suarez, Vice Chairman Henry Uaminal, distinguished members of the August committees comprising this joint investigation, distinguished members of the House of Representatives, PAO Chief Presidia Acosta, the USEC of the Department of Justice, members of the media, both local and international, to all resource persons, a blessed and drug-free morning to all. Before anything else, I wish to reiterate that the Department of Justice fully supports President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs. We fully commit ourselves to the eradication of this menace to our children, our family, and our country. We wish to reassure the public and the honorable members of our distinguished committees that those who are responsible for the drug trade in this country, once apprehended, will find nothing but prosecution and punishment under our laws. One area of utmost concern for everyone is the proliferation and escalation of drug trade in the National Penitentiary. It is most unfortunate that convicted felons who are supposed to be punished and reformed have thrived as drug entrepreneurs and drug businessmen. Why this happened, how it happened, is the reason why we are here. We have to get to the bottom of this. We all want the truth. Drugs have caused deaths. It has destroyed families. It has shattered dreams, and it will continue to menace our people if we do not stop it. It has to stop. We have to stop it. The proliferation of the drug trade in bilibid will not have happened if the persons in charge and those in authority did their jobs and properly discharged their sworn duties. Apparently, the drug trade in bilibid had a consent and was condoned by these people. Ladies and gentlemen, we have prepared a list of 30 resource persons who will help us all to establish why, the how, the where, the when, and most importantly, the who and how much on the proliferation of these prohibited drugs in our prisons. The Filipino people deserves the truth. We are confident that the truth will come out. The purpose of today's hearing, I will present to the committee the video interview of J.B. Sebastian, the video showing the kubul of Peter Co, and other videos. Further, I will show the committee the ingenious ways our inmates in hiding their communication devices. Further, the resource persons will shed light on the participation of the highest official of the Department of Justice at that time in the proliferation of illegal drugs inside the new bilibid prison. The nature and tenor of the testimonies of the resource persons are as follows. We will present Rafael Z. Ragos, who was once the OIC Bureau Director and who is still an employee and an officer of the NBI. He will testify that sometime in 2012, he found a black bag containing money on his bed at the Bucor Director's quarters. He received a call instructing him to deliver the black handbag containing limang manok, or in the bilibid language, or 5 million to Mr. Ronnie Dayan. he and June Ablen delivered the money to Mr. Dayan and DOJ Secretary de Lima at her house in South Bay Village, Parañaque. Mr. Ragos will also testify that on December 12, 2012, he found money on his bed at the Bucor Director's Quarter. He then received a call to deliver the money to Mr. Dayan, just like the first time, and he delivered the money to the house of Secretary de Lima. This is another 5 million pesos. Herbert Culanco, he will testify, among others, that he was ordered by J.B. Sebastian to sell drugs. Also, Mr. Culanco will testify that Jonel Sanchez asked him to sell drugs for the plan of then DOJ Secretary de Lima. Mr. Culanco paid payola to DOJ Secretary and Director of Bucor amounting to 3 million pesos per month, and to the Director of Bucor 1.2 million pesos per month. Rodolfo Magleo, a former major of the PNP, will testify that J.B. Sebastian told him that several drug lords and non-conforming inmates will be removed from the maximum security compound so he could monopolize the drug trade inside the compound. He will testify that J.B. Sebastian paid millions to DOJ Secretary de Lima and Director Bucayo, and that J.B. Sebastian is one of the financiers of DOJ Secretary de Lima for the latter's senatorial campaign. He will also testify that J.B. Sebastian told him that he paid DOJ Secretary de Lima 10 million pesos for the transfer of bilibid 19 and an additional 1 million pesos per month. We will present Noel Martinez. He will testify that sometime in January 2013, and the other leaders of gangs were introduced by DOJ Secretary de Lima by J.B. Sebastian. He will also testify that sometime February 2013, J.B. Sebastian informed him that DOJ Secretary de Lima needed funds for her plan to run in the 2016 senatorial elections. J.B. Sebastian ordered the centralization of the drug sale in the bilibid and required him and other gang leaders for help. In exchange, they will receive protection and special treatment. Ovencio Ablen Jr., who is still with the NBI, will testify that he and Mr. Ragos were longtime friends, and sometime in November and December, together with Mr. Ragos, they delivered the 10 million, 5 million each, the 10 million pesos to the house of Secretary de Lima. Jaime Pacho, he will testify that J.B. Sebastian approached him for help for the senatorial campaign of DOJ Secretary de Lima. He then referred a person to J.B. Sebastian who received drugs and paid for it through bank deposit. The other, we were instructed, we were told by the committee secretary that the others should not be brought here for order and security purposes, because I believe that with its 6 witnesses, we will have our hands full until the end of the hearing today. That is the opening statement, Your Honors, and may we request that we be allowed to present the video interview of J.B. Sebastian by the Discovery Channel, and this will show how powerful this person is and why his words are law in the new Bilibid prison. Let's watch, please.
Mr. Chairman,
Majority Floor.
some clarificatory questions. Are these witnesses willing to testify here today? Are they testifying here today?
Yes, Your Honor. They are here and they will testify.
Okay. Without asking for any immunity or what?
They were not asking for anything, for any favor, and we did not give them, or we did not promise them anything. But their lawyers approached this representation that if it's possible that their clients be offered immunity and they're testifying here before this hearing. I agree that it's very reasonable that they've stated before me that they want to cooperate with the drug war against illegal drugs of President Duterte, and that they believe that this anomalies, this illegal drug trade in the bilibid should stop. And they wanted to cooperate. So at the very least, I believe that whatever they tell here, I believe that they should be given immunity. So what I did
prepared a written statement before they testify into this committee. And under the rules, within 48 hours, they have to furnish the committee secretariat of this said affidavits or written statement, Mr. Chairman. May we know, Mr. Chairman, if members of this committee can be furnished of the affidavits in order to guide us accordingly before we grant this immunity?
Yes, in fact, we requested Secretary Aguirre to prepare sufficient copies for distribution to the members of the committee to save on time.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Chairman, we prepared 100 copies, sufficient copies. So if there's anybody, any members of the committee na wala pang...
I think all the members, Mr. Chairman, should be furnished of that affidavits.
May I know from the ComSec if
They are now distributing.
they had this, they're now distributing. So,
Mr. Chair, there is a pending motion duly seconded, so can we now proceed on the rolling of the chair so that we can go ahead with the presentation of the witnesses by the Department of Justice?
Second, Your Honor.
thank you for that.
Mr. Chairman, clarification, please.
Deputy Speaker.
As we understood from the explanation of the majority leader, the approval of the immunity by this committee, by the members of this committee, I mean, is only recommendatory. It is the signature
Speaker.
of the Speaker that will be the operative act that will make the immunity recommended by this committee operative. Now, if we approve it now, being recommendatory, and we will allow the witnesses to testify now, are we not endangering these witnesses?
It's a chicken and egg matter, you know, because for them to testify, their lawyers, as manifested by the Secretary, is wanting to secure this immunity. And, you know, I believe in the wisdom of the Secretary. They have passed upon all of these affidavits. They have worked on these witnesses, and I would like to think that they did this in accordance with the rules on, and if we apply the rules on regularity, then we can, in the sense of the chair, I think this is a matter that can be dispensed with. After all, we have yet to hear the testimonies, and I am almost certain all of the members of this committee would like to hear what these witnesses would testify on. So anyway, I hear no objection except comments. So there is a motion. It has been seconded. Is there any objection?
Mr. Chairman, my question has not yet been clarified. I need a clarification, and my question should be addressed.
This is recommendatory. We will vote upon whether or not we will recommend to the Speaker the grant of immunity pursuant to Section 4 of the law. And as clarified by the Secretary of Justice, this is a prerequisite to the grant of immunity by the Department of Justice at the proper time. So I hope I have clarified the matter with Your Honor.
In amplification of that, Mr. Chairman, if our approval here is condition precedent to granting of the immunity, will it now be timely for us to ask these witnesses to testify, even prior to the signature of the Speaker?
Mr. Chairman, to pacify the Deputy Speaker, precisely let's vote on it now, then I'll bring it to the Speaker and get the definitive action of the speaker, whether he will approve it or not. So we have to do this first so that we can get the result.
And we will have to do it first before we proceed with the testimony of the witnesses.
Of course.
That is the clarification I was waiting,
Okay.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you for that. May I recognize also Vice Chair. Sandali muna.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I was about to say this before the Honorable Majority Leader came up with his view. We must remember that one of the principal authors of Resolution 105 is no less than the Speaker himself. I cannot imagine the Speaker denying the request of the lawyers of the witnesses, that the witnesses be immune in whatever testimony they will give before this body. But just the same, since the Majority Leader already assured the Deputy Speaker that he will be going straight to the Speaker and seek the approval, then we may as well now vote on it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that. There has been a motion. It has been duly seconded. There being no objection, the same, this request or letter requesting the Speaker for immunity for the 6 witnesses named by Honorable Roque is hereby approved.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman. Ang mga bagay na madidiscuss dito. Yun ang pinakamagandang kortesiya na maiibigay sa kung sino man ang mababanggit na pangalan dito. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that manifestation. So we now proceed. I understand the
Mr. Chair.
Secretary will now make a video presentation. But before that,
Mr. Chair.
Congressman Awap.
May I know if we have granted immunity to the witness that who will testify this morning?
It's being worked on by the majority floor leader now. That's why his seat is now vacant. But the continuation is on the presentation of some video materials prepared by Department of Justice as we await the disposal of said request for immunity. So, can we now proceed, Your Honor?
Mr. Chair, as you have stated, the majority floor leader is already going to the Speaker. We haven't voted. It's a condition sine qua non that we vote first.
It has been approved. There was no objection. We need not divide the House because there was no objection. So that motion is carried.
Also, may I suggest that we do not let or allow the witnesses to testify first.
We will
Kasi it's for their safety.
We
Without
will
the
not,
immunity granted, any person mentioned in their testimony will be able to run after them. So we take care of their safety also, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Are there testimonies or will they be covered in your video presentation, Mr. Secretary?
Mr. Chairman, it will just be a video. Let's just
So
watch
can
it.
we give this time to the Secretary of Justice for his video presentation?
Opo, actually, we are presenting this to show what kind of bilibid we have before the SAF troopers took over last July 20.
I'm in Manila, capital of the Philippines, home to one of the world's most ruthless prison gangs, the Commandos. I want to know how they've come to exert control over the world's largest prison.
It's a gang war.
They stabbed him?
Stabbed him and beat him to death.
Manila is an epicenter of emerging gang violence, where the police and gangs
There's a homemade cocktail right here.
battle for control of the city.
This guy's dead. That's gang life, right there.
I want to see how gang leader Moja operates on the street.
We want to be bigger than the mafia.
And find out how Commando gang boss JB is able to control his prison empire with total authority.
We almost killed that guy. There's a stabbing. There's chaos everywhere.
In my journey to the dark heart of Manila's underworld, I'm going to uncover the codes that enable gang leaders to reign supreme in the world's biggest max security prison. That also turns out to be a gangster's paradise. I'm Lou Ferrante. I ran my own crew in the New York Mafia. I made millions for the Gambino crime family. I eventually got busted, locked up for 8.5 years. In prison, I educated myself. I realized crime is wrong, and I gave it up for good. Now I teach and write about gang life. I'm going to use my insider knowledge to unlock the secrets of the world's deadliest gangs. Manila, capital of the Philippines, Southeast Asia. Gangs are plaguing the city. They're everywhere. Some operating out of prison, while others are earning a violent reputation on the streets. I'm on my way to Valenzuela, a city on the edge of Metro Manila. I'm supposed to meet a guy by the name of Mojo. He's the local street boss for a gang called True Brown Style, TBS. Mojo might have some juice in his hood, but I'm hoping he can tell me where the real power lies. These gangs are wary of strangers. The fact that I'm ex-mafia means nothing to them. Moja tells me to head to the fairground on the outskirts of town and wait. I have no idea what Moja looks like or what to expect. Mojo?
Yes.
Hey, what's up, bud? How you doing? Nice to meet you finally. How's it going, man?
I'm alright.
You're a big motherfucker. So this is your assassins. How old are you?
I'm 26 years old.
26. Cool. You're 24. 24. And how old are you?
28.
I've been to enough late night meets to know that Moja and his homies are sizing me up. These guys may look like kids, but kids ain't that smart, and they think they're invincible. That's what makes them so dangerous.
Okay, I go.
To avoid surveillance, Moja wants to meet up in his own hood. You guys know True Brown Style? No? While Moja checks the area for cops, I'm curious to know if folks around here will talk to me about TBS. You know the gangs around here? No? You know TBS? No one will talk. They're either scared or they look to TBS for protection. Okay. All right, thank you. I noticed there's a bunch of guys with red up here. Everybody seems to be wearing either a red jersey or a red pair of shorts. I'm gonna find out if that's their gang color, because it seems like to me, why'd everybody come out tonight with red on? I must have checked out with Moja, because he sent 2 of his boys to come and get me.
Someone phone me, man.
What I want from you?
To put a bullet in your head.
Yeah, you want a bullet in your head?
Yeah.
I'll put one back in your head.
I'm a gangster.
You don't look like a gangster to me. TBS may look like the local boys club, but they're not selling cookies.
What's up, Moja?
They're running guns, selling drugs, kidnapping, and killing.
You a member too? OG. So men and women in the gang. Okay.
OG stands for Original Gangster. I heard the title a lot in prison.
Your gang colors is red? Yes.
We just represent Bloods.
Okay. So is that where it comes from,
But
America?
our gang originated in San Diego, California, and New Mexico. We have some shoppers in London, Dubai, and
London
some
and Dubai?
Yes.
Do you answer to the Bloods back in the
Yes.
States? You do.
Yes.
You got a thing with them still? Okay. You guys got guns?
We have 67 guns here.
67 guns?
Yes.
So pretty much a gun for every single person.
Yes.
What kind of weapons?
38 caliber, shotguns, Uzi, and 40 caliber and 45 and 9mm.
These are police revolvers. These are all 38. In my country, these are police revolvers. Where do you get these guns?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
Yes.
What are these for, guys?
To kill.
Yeah?
Enemy.
To kill.
Have any of these guns been used to kill somebody?
Yes. Many times.
Many times.
Yes, many times.
Whoa. Whoa. You got one in the round, in the chamber? No. Wow, nickel-plated 45 automatic.
19 rounds.
19 rounds.
Yes.
That's a nice size bullet too. Wow. Colt 45 bullet is like my thumb. You and who's he?
Bilibid, our boss.
TBS is growing fast, with an arsenal of weapons and no shortage of new recruits. OG Moja is the boss on the street, but I want to meet OG Lawrence, who's the head honcho. He's in Bilibid prison.
What's he serving? What kind of sentence?
2 life sentences.
Really?
Yes.
That's murder, I guess, right?
Yes.
Okay. And if OG in prison sends word to the street and says, I want something done,
Yes.
do you guys
We're
listen?
gonna be done.
It's done.
Yes, because our OG was sent to prison because of our gang. As a respect, we should do our part too. Because he's doing his sacrifice for us, right?
Okay.
Without them, what is TBS?
Bilibid Maximum Security Prison is the world's largest prison. This joint holds 20,000 hardened criminals, murderers, kidnappers, rapists, and 95% of them are gangsters, including OG. I ain't never seen a joint like this. There were shops, restaurants, taxis, you name it.
I can't believe I'm in a maximum security penitentiary and they got access.
Even harder to believe is that they are trusted with their own head count.
20, 25, 30, 45, 50.
This is mind-boggling to me. You at the top.
The commander, the second boss as the assistant commander. Here are the names of the advisors.
Who appoints them?
Basically, it's the commander.
Go ahead, who else?
There's a mayor or the
Okay.
father of the dormitory.
Okay.
Or the branch manager of the business.
Okay.
If there's something wrong with the dormitory, the mayor is in charge.
Wait, who puts the mayors in office and the vice mayors? You.
Of course.
How about the treasurer? Does he handle the money?
Yes, the money.
And the auditor?
He audits the treasurer.
So you have people watching people.
People watching people, exactly.
How does the money funnel up to the top? Like if on the street in the mafia, you pay your capo pays
From the treasurer to the mayor, from the mayor to the commander.
So the money goes straight up to the top, a pyramid.
Pyramid.
And who watches you at the top? Are you above the people?
I'm just a servant.
Okay.
And a king at the same time.
I don't know about a servant. I've been hanging out with you. You're not a servant. I'll buy the king part. I'm not going to buy the servant part. Let's not get crazy. You have plenty of servants around you.
Okay.
Like any smooth politician, JB wants me to meet one of his happy appointees. How you doing? Good, yeah? How long have you been in charge?
Almost 2 years now.
2 years?
Yes.
What's the last problem that you felt you had to bring to JB?
Money.
Money? What happened with money?
Someone stolen their fund.
So when you were going to JB to talk to him about it, were you nervous?
No.
No, you knew JB trusts you? JB's mayor might be denying it, but he can't hide his fear.
Maybe I should resign. Like a real man.
Suddenly the walkabout is going all wrong. JB knows it don't look good. What if JB didn't trust you?
Let's got it.
I'm seeing firsthand how JB operates. It's just like the mafia. The boss, the capos, the rank and file soldiers, and there's repercussions if you step out of line or say the wrong thing. Gang life allows no mercy. Back on the streets, TBS is expanding its power base. Tonight, they're initiating 2 new recruits into the gang, and I've been invited to watch. I totally understand why these kids want to be part of a gang. It's the same reason I joined the crew when I was a teen. It's about bonding, status, and quick money. Most of all, it gives you a sense of belonging. Who's coming in? What's your name? Nice to meet you, James. Is this a big honor for you?
Yes.
Yeah? Have you been waiting for this a long time?
Yes.
Yeah? Who else is getting straightened out tonight? How old are you?
15.
You're 15 years old? How long have you wanted to be part of the gang?
2 years.
2 years. Since you're 13, you wanted to be in? To join TBS, these two have to first show how far they're willing to go for the gang. For James, it means enduring a 30-second beatdown, which TBS calls a massacre. For girls like Lily, there's another option.
Whenever a girl decided to join our group, she got choice to be beaten up by an OG like me.
Okay.
Or had some fun with the rest of the peers.
Oh, fun, really? You get
Yes.
passed around?
Yes.
How did you get in?
I get it like my nose bleeds afterwards. I was blindfolded by a scarf. Then they gave me like 30-second massacre by means of slaps.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so they slapped the shit out of you. Okay, they're blindfolding the guy they're going to beat down right now, who's going to be initiated. How do you feel? Hurt? Yeah? James can barely stand up. If this ain't an indication of how little your so-called friends love you, then nothing is. What was this? The handshake? Yes. He's in? Yeah. Stop, gangster? Let me see. Holy shit. Okay, next. Next is the 15-year-old girl. It's gonna break my heart. Lily has chosen to be beaten up instead of getting gang raped. I wish with all my heart right now she would just go home. Lily is about to make the biggest decision of her young life.
I guess it's a lot of just peer pressure, which is fucked up. Mojo, let me ask you a question. She's crying. Does she really want it?
She's nervous because she saw the initiation, that's why.
Because he got beat up so bad.
Yeah.
So it's just the beating that scares her?
Yes.
Okay. She don't want to do it, right?
Yes, because she's scared.
Yeah, so let her go home. Send her home. Yeah.
Moja is smart enough to know that a hesitant recruit will never be a devoted follower. Makes me wonder if Moja has an eye toward the future.
So where do you want to be in 10 years?
We want to be the biggest gang in the whole world. We want to be bigger than the mafia.
Really? Do you realize that most gangsters end their lives either dead or in jail?
Yes.
You think you could be different?
I don't think so.
You think you're going to either end up dead or in jail too?
Yes.
Yeah.
For Moja, the gangster life is glamorous. Back in the day, I felt that way too. But right after I left him, I came upon a young kid shot dead just moments before. People on the scene told me the guy was part of a stick-up gang and the cop shot him. Then I find out this is not the only gang member dead on the street. 2 blocks away, there's another one.
Gangster movies make violence just so like glorified, and I mean this is the reality right here. This is real life. And at the end of the scene, the actor doesn't just get up and walk away like the movies. This guy's dead. That's a human life. There's gonna be a mother, a sister, a brother crying their eyes out in the morning. That's gang life right there. That's gang life.
I'm back at Bilibid Max Security Prison, where gang boss JB Sebastian is charming the ladies.
Thank you, JB, for welcoming us.
JB's personal influence extends beyond the prison walls. Just how far becomes clear to me when I find out who his guests are.
This group is composed of legal interns of the Office of the Solicitor General, who will be the future lawyers of the country.
Most of the presidents of my own country began their careers as lawyers. Is it possible that JB is entertaining a future Filipino president? Well, if that idea seems far-fetched, wait till you see what he showed me in his office.
This is the current director of the Bureau of Corrections. This is the superintendent, and this is me.
Who's this guy?
He's the president of the Philippines.
You gotta be kidding me.
This is the Secretary of Justice.
What blows my mind is you're a convicted kidnapper.
Okay.
And a serial kidnapper. It wasn't just once.
Okay. A hijacker and a carnapper as well.
There you go. In America, if our attorney general sat down with a gang member, his job would be lost by the evening news.
I think they need the leadership of the gangs.
They need the leadership. Otherwise, chaos?
I think so.
Yeah. In the penitentiaries I was in, we had stashes of weapons literally everywhere. So you got to have an arsenal in this joint. A place like this, probably
I wish I could share it to you.
Yeah, I wish you could too. Can you? Can I stumble upon it myself?
You won't believe it.
Can I look around myself?
My weapon is this.
Yeah. I know.
Computer, media, camera. We have our own TV network. I think it's safe to claim that this is the first and ever local television network inside the maximum security facility.
Who runs it? Who's the CEO of the network?
Basically, it's me. It's like a normal TV network wherein you have a local news network, late night show, noontime show, comedy, drama. This guy is Boogie, film editor.
Okay.
In one of
Gentlemen,
the biggest TV
have you
network.
seen enough? Would you
In
like
real
us to
life, in the
carry
real
it?
world.
And was still outside.
So we can,
so are
we
you a
can
commando
start
too?
with the interpellation? Huh? Tapusin na? What is the pleasure of the body?
We will ask the secretary kung...
Kasi meron pa ito, meron pang ibang video presentation si Justice. Baka nainip na kayo. You might wish to start
Mr. Chair.
interpolating.
I would just like to verify from the chair if we're going to proceed with the interpellation, is there already an approval coming from the good speaker to proceed with the inquiry?
Hindi, yung inquiry will proceed. Ang hinihingan lang natin ng dispensation is the witness.
Okay.
The witnesses. So, we're not touching on that. We're touching on what has been reported already. Unless there are other things that have not been appreciated in your presentation, you may wish, the body may wish now to cut this and start with the interpellation.
With respect to this, we'll just defer the presentation of witness pending the approval of this.
Because after this, we have PNP SAF, I think. They have also a presentation. Is that, did I?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
But with respect to this, I think we are just going to the meat of the video.
Okay, so
Let's go.
then let's proceed. Please continue.
Let's say, for example, if there's a murder, so like, stay tuned, murder in bilibid section 2.
It so happened that there's an incident of stabbing. So there's chaos everywhere.
Okay.
So in order to clear the confusion, we had a news flash. Show it, please. I, as the news anchor, interviewing the superintendents and the commander of the guards.
Okay.
Maraming salamat po. Mula po sa ating commander of the guard, sir. May mensahe po. Kinakailangan panatilihin natin talaga yung katahimikan dito sa loob ng maximum security compound. Muli po, JB Sebastian po, PTV 3, Nagulat. Maraming salamat po.
By you having the TV station for bilibid, do the other gangs feel like you're controlling the information that gets put out onto the compound?
I don't know if they felt like that. Because they know me, that I'm a man of neutrality.
I want to see if Mr. Neutrality is neutral when it comes to money.
There's guys running shops, food shops. Now, on the street, if there are little shops on the street, they pay protection.
You must have the blessing of the God leader.
To open up a store.
To open up a store.
And then you got to kick a piece upstairs, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's say this guy wants to open a store under the supervision of my gang. Of course, there would be some stake for me.
JB has his own gang, his own TV station, and many of the shops in Bilibid are paying him tribute. Could it be that he's really running the prison? One person would know.
Lou Ferrante, I'm here to see the general. I have an appointment.
Ex-Army General Gaudencio S. Pangilinan is director of the National Bureau of Prisons.
Thank you. General, how are you?
He oversees the country's 7 penitentiaries, including Bilibid.
This is the biggest prison nationwide. We have 20,000 inmates here out of the total 36,000. Our maximum security is designed for 6,000 only. We have double that number.
Wow. How much do you rely on the gangs, the hierarchy, to keep control of the whole place?
There's a hierarchy that is necessary within every facility. There's a council of elders. Their part is specific. They assist the prison authorities in implementing prison rules. They maintain order. They don't tread beyond that. Nothing more. There are stories like how they control before maybe, but not in my time.
Right.
The general tells me there's sound reasoning behind his philosophy.
We're the only prison in the world that allowed the visitors to get into the dormitories.
I thought that was amazing.
As part of the conjugal
Never
visit.
saw that before.
A lot of people has been criticizing that. We're criticizing them. In running a prison, you need to give them as much privileges as you can, that you can take away any time.
That you can take
Not as a blackmail. If you don't behave, we cut the number of visiting days.
Okay.
I learned in my readings that managing a prison restraint has to be calibrated.
The general uses rewards and punishments to control the inmates. How else could so few guards watch over so many prisoners?
It's 1:35 in the morning. I'm on my way to Tondo, an epicenter of gang activity in Manila.
The police are at war with the gangs. They invited me on a raid to capture the new boss of another street gang, the JR Bait Gang. The cops gunned down the previous boss earlier this year. Tondo is one of the poorest and most dangerous areas of Manila, with an average of 4 murders a week.
Colonel Tendero?
Yes, yes.
How are you? Nice
Fine.
to meet you. Lou Ferrante.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me tonight.
Colonel Tendero is head of Police Precinct 2 in Tondo and in charge of tonight's operation.
I believe that this person will not be caught alive. He will really fight with us.
Expecting them to shoot back?
Yes.
The whole team has been called in for tonight's raid.
Pagpasok doon alam niyo na kagad yung pupuntahan
A lot of irony in this. It's exactly the way my crew and I planned the heist. We went over last-minute details, checked all weapons, told who was going to do what. This is the first time I've seen it from the other side of the law.
Wala nang questions? Wag na kayong lalayo dito lang tayo
Did you guys ever go in on one where the guy, fires back?
We had an experience.
Gunfight?
Gunfight. This is the person.
This is the last guy that fired back at them on a raid. This is the condition of him. He slumped over dead. I got this flak jacket on that they asked me to wear.
The raid is taking place in a shanty town by a seaport near the southern tip of Tondo.
That's M16, right? Okay, you're going in first.
The police won't let me follow them in. They said it's too dangerous. But I'm wondering, given my background, if they're afraid I might switch sides.
They seem to be looking around for the guy right now. They're all cocked and ready to roll. If the guy resists, there's going to be a shootout.
I can hear them sweeping through the slum, but it's too dark to see anything.
We're left with very little backup, and this guy musters his forces and comes flying out of this gate. It's dangerous. It's the first time since I left the life that I wish I had a gun again.
Police! Bukas pinto, police! Sa mo pinto! Diyan ka lang. Ito na kapag dito Walang pumasok dyan sa inyo. Wala Wala tatakbo. Babanatan ko na. Ninyo, wag kang tatakbo. Babanatan ko kayo. Dapa. Hoy! Sige rito. Nakina mo, marami na kami pinatay dito Baka matulad ka
Everything is clear. You're safe now.
Here's some residue of the shabu.
Okay.
Of the illegal drugs. This is escape. So if a policeman will come, they'll just jump here.
The gang boss they were looking for got away, but the cops took down a couple of his crystal meth dealers.
It's not bad enough these people live in total abject poverty, but they have to live in fear of the gangs too every single day of their lives.
After spending the night in Shantytown, I can see why gang members seem happier in Bilibid.
Last part, sir.
In here,
Thank you.
all they got to worry about is JB. I wonder how he got into the gangster life.
Mga fast forward natin to that.
Sir, that's the last part.
10 minutes pa 10 minutes pa.
Apo, sir,
Saan
kasi
portion yung may murder na sinasabi mo?
sa
So that
bandang
we
dulo,
can-
sir, yung nga sir, dinidiscuss nila ngayon na may pinatay. Apparently, it's a relative of JB Sebastian. Then they'll be digging up bodies also.
Okay, sige. 10 minutes. Anyway, we're still buying time. Wala pa yung mga witnesses. But what we will do is As we still buy time, we will go to other matters like PIDEA and SAF. Okay, sige. So, please continue.
First got in with gangs when you were young. Did you long for respect, for a fraternity? Tell me what was going through your mind back then.
During my young days, I think it is an influence from my dad.
So he was a gangster.
But he's still a badass.
Yeah, yeah.
45 caliber pistol in his waist.
Still.
A two-door sports car. A big bike. I don't know if you can still ride it.
You come in, your father's a gangster, and you became, yeah? It is.
I think so.
And when you were a kid, did he want to bring you into this life?
That's why I never felt the feeling of a follower as an ordinary member. It's like an automatic leadership.
Automatic.
Passed from my dad, from my uncles.
Your uncles too?
From his compadres.
Okay.
That's
So this
why
is all you know?
I'm automatic leader, but at a very young age.
But gang life is all you know then, right? JB was groomed to be a leader, and he obviously loves the role. But leadership has its share of problems.
Yeah.
It turns out that the day before I met him, a member of his gang attacked two rivals with a knife. The other gang planned to retaliate. In order to keep the peace, JB ordered retribution against his own man. In gang life, it's called cleaning your own laundry.
We almost killed him. He's now in coma. But this is the bad thing. That guy is my sister's father-in-law. It's family. But I have to do this.
Since I met JB, he'd been trying to act like some kind of diplomat or CEO. Now, for the first time, he's admitting what it really takes to be the leader of a prison gang. And there was more to come.
This is the territory of the other group, the Sige-Sige
This is?
Sputnik.
Okay.
A month ago,
Okay.
one of my guys was killed here.
Over here.
In this place.
In this court?
In this place.
What was he doing here?
Gambling.
No kidding. Was it over a gambling beef?
No, it's a gang war.
Who killed him? The Sputnik gang?
Stabbed him and beat him to death. Where's my racket? Pay pa yung dalawa. Bye.
I know there's more to this story, but JB has just switched from murder to tennis. For the first time, I see a prison guard, probably stationed here because of the recent homicides. I heard there was a murder right here in this place a few days, a couple weeks ago, right? Were you there that day?
Yes.
The guard tells me the problem started with a basketball game.
When we arrived, we saw the garment of JB sprawling on the floor with the blood oozing on his body. JB's group, the commando gang, wanted to get even with the other gang.
He explains that to stop it from escalating into an all-out gang war, the authorities called JB and the rival gang leader to a sit-down. But nobody else got hurt?
Actually, off the record.
Off the record. Okay. Off the record means only one. First, if all things fail, then, yeah, shit happens, Guy ends up in the trunk.
5 or 10 of our advisors, the gangs, the old guys, wanted the hit on that very same day.
They wanted the hit right away.
They didn't say no, and they didn't say yes. Other guys, also old guys, told me, okay, stay cool, stay calm.
Pansamantala po nating puputulin ang nangyayaring pagdinig ng Kongreso kaugnay sa illegal na droga sa loob ng New Bilibid Prison upang bigyan daan ang press con sa Malacanang na pangungunahan ni PCO Secretary Martin Andanar. Panoorin po na natin.
Good morning. Welcome po sa press briefing ni Presidential Communications Secretary Martin Andanar. Good morning, sir. Good morning, MPC.
Morning, Rocky. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. On the two Filipino captives freed by the Abu Sayyaf last Sunday night, apart from the Norwegian and the three Indonesian hostages, the military is getting an upper hand in its continuing intense and focused operations in collaboration with police counterparts to destroy the ASG. Also last night, the President extended financial assistance to Davao blast victims. The President personally received each of the victims and relatives of the deceased and handed over a check representing a cash assistance extended by a government amounting to 250,000 pesos for victims who were permanently disabled by the blast. The President likewise handed out 250,000 pesos each to the families of the 15 victims who died in the bombing, while 100,000 pesos each cash assistance was given to each of the victims who sustained minor injuries, plus other medical assistance, including allowances for antibiotics. There were at least 70 people who were injured last September 2. On Batanes, the DSWD is now conducting stress debriefing. 5 social workers trained on critical incidents. Stress debriefing will be deployed to help relieve the stress and trauma experienced by the victims of Typhoon Ferdy.
Yes, question. First question will come from Maricel Halili of TV5.
Hi, Sec. Good morning.
Hello,
Sir,
good morning.
may we have your reaction tungkol lang dun sa pagkakatanggal kay Senator De Lima sa chairmanship yesterday?
Nirespeto po natin ang independence ng Senado. Ang Senado po ay co-equal branch of government at kung ano po ang desisyon ng kanilang liderato ay nirespeto po natin. Ganon din po sa kung ano man ang mga activities na nangyayari sa lower house. We respect it.
But I understand, Secretary, that Senator De Lima believes that the people of President Duterte is behind the ousting. May we get your reaction?
Ang palasyo po ay nanatiling independent din, no? Hindi po namin pinapakialaman kung ano ang nangyayari sa Senado. The senator also is entitled to her own opinion.
Another statement coming from Senator De Lima is that hindi daw siya yung reason kung bakit nasisira yung image ng Pilipinas, kundi yung sunod-sunod na cases on extrajudicial killings.
Well, sino bang nagsisi kay De Lima? Maricel? You know, meron kasing meron silang sagutan sa Senado at ayaw nating makialam doon. Thank you.
Follow-up question on Senator De Lima, Raymond Tenasa.
Hi, sir. Are you happy with the result without ouster of Senator De Lima as chairman?
You know, like what I said, Raymond, no? Meron pong sariling political dynamics sa loob ng Senado at lahat naman ng bumoto na maalis po ang senadora ay mga senador, no? Wala namang miyembro doon ng executive at ganun din sa mga nag-abstain at sa mga pumabor para kay Senador De Lima. And we congratulate also Senator Dick Gordon.
Sir, seriously, Senator De Lima is also insisting that no other than but the president himself wants her out of the committee or behind the moves in the Senate. Your action.
Kasi entitled naman po si Senadora Laila de Lima sa kanyang opinion. At alam po natin na ang ating Pangulo at ang ehekutibo ay hindi nakikialam sa kung ano man nangyayari sa Senado. Halimbawa na lamang dun sa nangyaring investigasyon noong nakaraang linggo under the chairmanship of Senator Laila de Lima. At maliwanag po na hindi naman nakialam ang palasyo at ito'y tuloy-tuloy. In fact, yung mga investigasyon po ng Senadora noong mga nakaraang linggo ay pinahintulutan po ng ating Pangulo ang ating Philippine National Police Chief na dumalo sa investigasyon. So wala po. Talagang as far as I am concerned and as far as the palace is concerned, independent po ang Senado, independent po ang lower house.
But Sir, Senator de Lima is saying that the president himself openly said publicly that he destroy her. So she believes that this is already part of the declaration of the president that she or he will destroy her.
Itatanong ko po sa Pangulo kung ano po ang ibig sabihin niya dun sa sinabi niyang statement na yun.
Thank you, sir.
May follow-up question? Henry Uri and then Joseph Morong.
Secretary, good morning. There was this report of the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism, the PCIJ, that next year the government's going to spend 206.57 billion pesos for public order and safety, and then 2.5 billion ang Intel Fund ng Duterte administration next year for illegal drugs. So the government has been spent, and malaki na yung mga pondohong ginagamit ng gobyerno. What's in it for the people? Kasi malaking pondo po itong pinag-uusapan natin dito.
Siguro, Henry, titingnan ko muna yung buod ng budget at tatanungin ko rin si Executive Secretary Bingbong Medialdea kung ano po yung... kasi hindi ko pa nakikita yung allocation yung pera. So, for me to be able to give you a clear answer, ay kailangan ko makita yung budget.
Follow up, pero yung napapansin namin puro patayan, puro parang accomplishment wise. Meron ba sa ganitong kalaking pondo, Secretary?
Sa ngayon po, alam naman siguro ng lahat na nasa 712,000 na yung mga sumurrender sa police. At out of the 712,000 surrenderies, dahil dito sa anti-illegal drugs campaign, ay nasa close to 660,000 po yung mga drug users at yung nasa 7% po or 52,800 yung mga sumurrender na drug peddlers or drug pushers. No? Now with that number, masabi po natin na very successful yung first phase ng giyera kontra illegal na droga. If we connect the budget to that, kailangan ko muna makita yung buong plano kung paano gagastusin yung budget, and I haven't seen the budget honestly.
Okay, thank you. Back
Thank
to Senator De Lima's issue. Okay, Joseph Morong.
Sir, you've talked to the president, no? Are you aware if he has seen the proceedings last, I think, Thursday ba? Thursday or Wednesday?
Mula po nung nagkaroon ng Senate investigation ng Senadora de Lima, ay hindi pa po kami nagkikita ni Pangulong Duterte dahil nung nangyari po yon ay sabay naman na ginanap yung pagbisita ng Pangulo sa Bulacan. No? Tapos after that, I understand meron mga private activities yung Pangulo over the weekend. I think may kasal pa na nangyari, no? May wedding, no? And then dumiretso na po sa Davao si Presidente. Kaya hindi pa po kami nagkikita, hindi pa kami nag-uusap, hindi pa namin napag-usapan yan.
What does the palace think of yung ouster niya? Because ang sinasabi is that Matobato is a perjured witness, parang walang value, off-topic siya, but why do we have this kind of move in the Senate?
Hindi ko masagot yan, Joseph, kasi again, Senado sila, ito, Ehekutibo. I understand 16 senators voted for, the ouster, no? So, I mean, that's 16 wise men, no, who have their own reasons why they ousted and why they brought in Senator Dick Gordon. And, let's just accept the decision of the Senate.
Jenaline Cabiling, Manila Bulletin.
Sir, do you believe Senator De Lima abused her authority in handling the Senate probe on the extrajudicial killings?
It is not for me to say if inabuso ba or hindi. It's really up to the senators themselves and the public.
Sir, on Senator Gordon, do you expect him to be fair and do a better job as Senate Chair?
Senator Dick Gordon is a illustrious fellow. He's been in the Senate for 12 years, and he also served as mayor of Olongapo, chairman of SB. This guy is one of the brightest leaders we have. So I am pretty certain that Senator Gordon will do an excellent job.
May follow-up question ba about Senator Benji Liwanag?
Sir, ikinagulat niyo ba yung pagkaka-oust ni Senator De Lima?
Hindi ko inaasahan.
Hindi niyo inaasahan?
Kasi again, kami naman dito sa Presidential Communications Office, meron din kami mga problema na inaayos, no? At meron din tayong mga trabaho na dapat gampanan. At again, babalikan ko po, kami naniniwala na independiente ang Senado and us here in the executive should mind our own business.
Prior dun sa pagkaka-oust kay Senator De Lima, nagkaroon ho ba ng time na nakapag-usap si Senator Pacquiao and Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, sir?
Hindi ko alam, Benji.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Benji.
Laila Salaveria on Senator De Lima. Okay. Okay, Joseph Morong first.
Sir, under Senator Gordon's leadership of the committee, do you think it's still worth presenting si Matobato?
Let's allow the Senate to decide. Yeah.
Laila Salaveria to be followed by Ted Tavera and then Joseph Morong.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
There's an ongoing investigation in the House, and the congressmen want to give immunity to several inmates, including Herbert Colanco. Sir, what could the palace say about this, considering that, don't you find it ironic that the House wants to protect a drug lord, and Herbert Colanco was also on the very first matrix that the president presented?
Again, I'd like to say that the House is also independent. The lower house, they have their prerogative to decide what they want to happen, and the palace and the house are not connected in any way. We are just a co-equal branch of government, and we respect their independence.
Sir, but the proposal is backed by the Justice Secretary, who is the alter ego of the president. So,
I have to talk to Secretary Vit Aguirre about his backing of the move of the House of Representatives.
but sir, do you think it will be worth it to grant immunity to a drug lord just to pin down Senator De Lima?
The best person to ask that question is Secretary Vit Aguirre.
Thank you.
So, Ted Tavera?
It's always been Secretary Vit Aguirre who's spoken about the case since last week, di ba? We appointed him to be the official spokesperson pagdating po sa kasong ito. Kasi magkadugtong-dugtong yan.
Ted Tavera, other issue na.
Sir, good morning, sir. On another topic, sir, you mentioned yesterday that Filipino Americans in New York are planning an Oust Digong movement. Sir, are we taking this seriously, and what is the government planning to foil such plans?
We take any destabilization move seriously, whether it's rumor or it's A1 information. It's against the law. You cannot. It's inciting to rebellion, no? And this has happened in the past. So I have received information from credible sources in the United States. And yeah, we are aware of this, and we have names. I have received, going to mention it because alam mo naman, tayo din naman ay naging journalist eh. Di ba? Baka ma-libel tayo. No?
The microphone. Sige, Joseph. Ted, okay. Okay, Maricel.
Sec, are there officials involved?
So hanggang doon na lang. Meron kaming mga pangalan. We know who they are. We are studying it. And just be the warning is just be careful in what you plan, because it's against the law. Whoever is planning an ouster or a coup d'etat, just be careful with what you do, and just make sure that whatever you do is within the bounds of the Constitution.
Okay, we'll take the last question from Benji. Magtatanong ka, Joseph. Benji, liwanag first.
Sir, sabi ninyo, tinitingnan, you're studying it. Sinong may hawak nung itong coup plot na to? Sinong may hawak from the government? Who's investigating this? Sino po yung tumututok? Are there officials from the palace or the government na pupunta sa United States para to coordinate?
Ang masabi ko lang, Benji, we are looking into it very seriously. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Joseph, may follow-up or Dexter na? Joseph, Dexter.
Follow-up lang po, Secretary. Since we have the names and you mentioned that yung ginagawa nila is already inciting to rebellion, any legal move from the government?
No, not yet. We are looking into it seriously. We are investigating it. Hanggang dun lang muna tayo. And what I am conveying is the message that we know that these plans are being hatched. We have some information also. We have some names, but we have to confirm. We have to vet. But whatever they're planning, just think twice, because it is not lawful when you bring down a government. And rest assured that we will protect our president.
But are we going to wait until the plan is hatched before we make any legal move?
Yeah, we are looking into it, we're investigating it, and we will protect our president whatever it takes.
Sir, pwede bang mag-last question pa
Yes,
si
sure,
Joseph Morong?
Sure.
Sir, to you, this is very serious, no? The oust plot, correct?
Of course, it's serious. It should be serious for the entire nation.
Correct.
For the 91% of the Filipinos who trust the president. Remember that the president was also voted with over 16 million votes.
You have the names, and I'm sure you will not reveal them, but with the names given, are you able to tell who may be behind this? Or you know who's plotting it at the very least? Is there a certain group of individuals?
I don't want to answer that question.
Why, sir?
Because I don't want to answer that question.
Because you know who?
Because it's under investigation.
Okay.
Validating. Okay?
Easy boy.
But you mentioned
Kanyang mga tanong.
No, but you mentioned January 2017. That sounds like a definite plan. Why daw may ganong oust move?
I will have
Motivation.
to.
Motivation.
I have sources, and of course, I cannot reveal the entire story for those who have witnessed such
But
meetings.
the motivation.
The motivation? I don't know. I haven't talked to them.
Nung nakarating sa inyo, why would they oust the president?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
It's.
There has to be a reason.
Let's ask them.
Okay.
Hindi sinabi sa inyo nung ano. Basta may oust lang.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yung-
Sige,
isa na lang,
Benji,
sir.
liwanag daw.
Yung hint ni Pangulong Duterte na sinasabi niya, gusto kong patalsikin ng mga dilawan. Is this part of the oust movement or what?
I'd love to answer that question.
Thank you.
But I won't answer that question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Secretary.
Salamat
Thank you,
po.
Malacanang Press Corps. Siguro sa labas na lang after the briefing, yung tanong nyo pa kay Secretary Andanar. Thank you, Malacanang Press Corps. Thank you, Presidential
Thank you, Rocky.
Communications Secretary
Thank you.
Martin Andanar. And back to our main studio sa Radyo ng Bayan at PTV Channel 4.
Atin po natunghayan ang press conference sa Palasyo Malacanang ni PCO Secretary Martin Andanar. At sa punto pong ito, balikan po natin ang pagdinig sa Kongreso.
Form! Form! Bilis! Bilis! Bilisan nyo nga!
Audio Jungle.
Exercise!
Audio Jungle.
To continue. Cell and block inspection. So before at building 14, the picture of building 14 before. Next. This time, building 14. Next. Next. Previous cell of Peter Co. The bathroom. His office. And now, this is Mr. Peter Co. In his room. Next, please. We have seen this presentation before of J.B. Sebastian. So what we will be showing is his room now. This is J.B. Sebastian in his room. Next, please. And Mr. Benjamin Marcelo. So cell and block gates are opened on a schedule and mandatory wearing of inmate uniform. For the inmate visitors, before visitors are allowed inside inmate cells, visiting area is used for parties and prolonged visiting hours from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. 5 times a week. And visitors not in the authorized list are even allowed to visit the inmates. But this time, this is the visiting area. Properly supervised. Okay, next please. So no more parties in the visiting area. 45 minutes per inmate, only twice a week. And only the authorized visitors are allowed with a maximum of 3 visitors per inmate only. So for the contrabands, entry of contrabands are unchecked. This is building 14. But at present, we strongly believe that it's stopped already. Presence of illegal drug, weapons and communication gadgets, we believe that it is significantly reduced. Next. For the inmate attitude, before some are undisciplined, they even threaten the authorities. But at present, they are all obedient and responsive, and we have no reported incident of threatening authorities. For the inmate activities at the maximum security camp, before physical exercises are taken for granted, the improper wearing uniform and sporting long hair and unshaved, and no identification card. This time, physical exercises is seriously observed. Continue, sir. Also, it is mandatory for the wearing of identification card. Next, please. So, proper wearing of uniform with neat haircut and properly shaved. So, as we can see, all inmates, they have to look like this one. Next, please. Next, please. For the Kabul, before Kabul exists inside NBP, hospital, and in dormitories. But this time, no more Kabuls. So, some of the Kabuls. So, all dormitories are now for common use of all inmates. For the VIP treatment for some inmates before, now all treatment equal for all inmates. Contrabands in maximum security camp. Before, concealed contrabands are overlooked during inspection. But this time, we conduct a very thorough inspection. Before, also the undiscovered contrabands during major clearing operations. At present, discovered through relentless and focused intel-based clearing operations. So this is how inmates hide their contrabands. Hidden in a cabinet wall, please. Hidden in stacks of soda cases, hidden in external wall, hidden below seats, hidden in ceiling trusses, curtain holder, decoration figure or figurine, even in the cabinet, hidden in a stall, a cooler, in an ashtray, paint container, even in a barbell, sleeper. So to highlight, sir, can I present for 1 minute the cooler that they use to hide the cell phone? Nothing different from the color that we use every day. But if you have to scrutinize this, you can see a lot of cell phones and even knives inside. This is how they do it inside. And there are a lot more, sir. Continue. Inmates do not voluntarily surrender contrabands before, but this time, they voluntarily surrender some of the contrabands. Surrendered contrabands. Bladed weapons, metal clubs. So they also have the surrender box. They voluntarily surrender their contrabands. So for the inmate visitors, before visiting or visitors cooking is handled by gang leader's wife, exposed to the elements, meaning the rain or the sun. No priority lane for elderly pregnant or with disabilities. But this time, we do it on the first come, first served basis. So it is being assisted and supervised by SAP. So accommodated and secured inside a shaded and gated compound. So this is before. Inmate visitors aligning at Sunken Garden. But this time, under shaded area, organized and supervised. So also, we prioritize people with disabilities, pregnant or elderly. What we have done so far also, caused the filing of criminal while inside the penitentiary. We also caused the filing of the administrative case against inmates for possession of other contrabands. For the ways forward, computerized inmate profile and biometrics for proper accounting and documentations. The creation of technical working group to craft an IRR to the Bureau Operations Manual, and the total stoppage of all illegal activities in NBP once and for all. And also, SAP tour of duty in NBP to end with our objectives attained. So that's all. Thank you very much, and may the force be with us all.
Thank you for that presentation. Ano ba to, Sap? Lusad, Superintendent Lusad. And we congratulate you for a job well done. Hopefully, we can maintain that. No illegal activities inside, and I guess this is what we need if we are to really bring back the faith of the community in at least the correctional aspect of the or pillar of the criminal justice system. So, just before we proceed with the witnesses, I think it is appropriate for us to hear from the OIC of the Bureau of Corrections. Is he here? Andito ba si Rolando Asuncion, and likewise itong superintendent natin ng NBP, Superintendent Rabo. So we start with Superintendent Asuncion and then Rabo.
Very good work.
Yeah. Ano lang, clarify dito. So just make it brief to confirm all of these things.
Magandang tanghali po sa ating lahat po. 2 buwan mula nang ako ay itinalaga na officer in charge ng Bureau of Correction ni Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre noong July 19, 2016, ako ay nabigyan ngayon ng pribilehyo na maging bahagi ng committee hearing na ito para sa pagbalangkas ng dahilan kung bakit lumaganap ang illegal na droga sa New Bilibid Prison. Yung mga ibang nakita nyo ngayon ay kanina sa mga video, hindi ko na po uulitin. Ang una ko lang pong babanggitin ay ang pangunahing dahilan kung bakit lumaganap ang kalakalan ng illegal drugs sa New Bilibid Prison at ang 6 pang operating prison and penal farms nito sa buong bansa ay dahil sa paglaki ng bilang ng mga nakakulong na ang kaso ay pagtutulak ng droga o ang pag-iingat ng droga sa malakihang halaga. Sa ngayon ay may 6,145 na inmates na may kaso na illegal drugs related. Out of the 24,060 inmates ng New Bilibid Prison. Ito po ay 26% sa buong inmate population po ng New Bilibid Prison. So, ang laki ho ng tsansa na itong mga inmates na to na malalaking mag-operate nung nasa labas pa ho sila ay nagpapatuloy ho sa operation sa New Bilibid Prison.
Pero just to butt in, sa ngayon ba ay nangyayari pa yan? Nakaka-operate pa sila given all of these actions taken by DOJ including the SAF intervention na rin?
Ang huling nakita ko pong mga dokumento na magpapatunay na kung sila ay nag-ooperate pa ay yung raid po ng May 25, 2016 kung saan nakuhanan ng isang cellphone si Peter Ko. At dito ho sa laman ng mga cellphone na ito ay doon ko ho nakita yung grabe ho ng operation na illegal drugs sa loob ng Bilibid Prison. Sa ngayon po, dahil nawala na ho yung mga karamihan ng mga cellphones, hindi ko sinasabing wala na ho ang cellphone sa loob, nawala na ho yung kanilang gamit na cellphones at saka mga boosters, signal boosters po, ay malaki na ho ang kabawasan ng transaction ng illegal drugs po sa New Bilibid Prison.
Pero sa yung tingin ay may nangyayari pa rin?
Meron pa ho nangyayari sa tingin ko po.
I just want to ask, kasi these are convicted felons and therefore their civil rights are suspended. Di ba natin pwede i-wiretap to? Yung mga nasa Bilibid Prison, wala naman tayong violation dyan dahil kung para malaman natin kung ito'y nangyayari pa rin.
Pwede ho siguro with the help of the law enforcement agency, sir, kasi po ang Bucor ay wala hong kakayanan ho sa pag-wiretap.
Okay, so anyway, these are one of the things that we would like to consider also. Through an administrative fiat, this can be done.
Yes, sir.
And we are not violating any laws for doing so. Tama ba yun?
Actually, Mr. Chair, pag wiretapping po ay bawal pa rin hanggang ngayon. Yung po ay violation ng yung Republic Act 4200, yung Anti-Wiretapping Act. That's why during the Senate deliberation, we proposed that another exception be added to the exception sa 4200. Yan nga po yung pag-wiretap ng mga people under detention. Sapagkat talaga namang sila'y walang karapatang gumamit ng cellphone or kung anumang communication devices. Kaya siguro talagang dapat lamang na talagang i-wiretap natin itong mga ito. Sapagkat sinasabi ko nung unang-una pa, without the cellphone, totally patay ang drug trade sa Bilibid. That's why ganun lamang po ang pangangailangan ng mga inmates, mga high-profile inmates lalo na, ng cellphone. At makikita ninyo doon sa presentation ng SAP, mahigit na ng 2,000 cellphone na nakuha nila. Pero meron pa rin silang napagtago at meron pa sigurong nagsusupply sa kanila. Actually, mga 3 weeks ago, ay merong nahuli ang SAF. Nagagalugad sila o nag-search sila sa hospital. At nakita nila doon isang kwarto ng isang doktor, isang cabinet may nakatago na 60,000 pesos plus 1 cellphone. Kaya doon sa question na meron pa bang nakakaligtas o nakapag-operate, meron pa po. Sapagkat maraming tumatawag sa akin, mga sa media, nagsasabi sa akin, Secretary, mayroon pa pong mga cellphone sa loob ng bilibid. Kaya kapag kausap ko kagabi, yan ang totoo, talagang meron pa. Makikita ninyo yung sa how ingenious they in hiding the cellphone. Yung iba nasa ilalim ng lupa. Yung iba hindi mo kalain, nasa bangko lang pala o nasa ashtray. Pero naitatago nila. Talagang magaling sila. Talagang magaling. Ngayon, isa lamang po ang dapat solusyon natin dyan. Sapagkat noong nag-umpisa kami ng campaign dyan sa Bucor, sinasabi kong 75% ng drug trades throughout the Philippines ay niluluto dyan sa bilibid. Kaya bilyon, hindi lang milyon ang kinikita ng mga drug lords na yan. Bilyon. At yan po, sana, kung may makakatulong sa atin na pag may nakakuha tayo ng mga accounts ng mga drug lords na yan at ihingi natin ng tulong sa AMLA, ay palagay ko ilalabas yung laki ng perang yan. So, nag-appeal din po ako na kung may paisa-isa, hanggat may isang cellphone na natitira dyan sa loob ng bilibid na yan, tuloy ang drug trade. Kaya ang solusyon dyan ay lagyan natin ng jammer. Meron pong jammer ngayon ang New Bilibid. Siguro marami silang jammer, pero yung improvised lamang ba? Yung ina-assemble lamang nila. Kaya pag ang telepono mo ay G3 na or LTE, hindi na maapektuhan ng jammer. Kaya ako po'y nag-apila noon, sabi ko yung hindi donate sa campaign fund ni President Duterte, ngayon na ang kailangan natin sa New Bilibid.
So wala tayong binabiolate kung jammer yan?
Depende po sa jammer. Kung ang jammer ay yung may intercept, yung tinatawag na pati yung mga pag-uusap nila at saka mga text ay meron, ay violative pa rin po yun ng 4200. As a matter of fact, about less than a month ago, mayroon pong nag-demo na ganon, na kinuhan lamang natin, pinarada natin lamang dun sa Building 14, nakasense na kaagad siya na may gumagamit na internet at saka cellphone. Alam po ninyo, nahuli natin yung 2 cellphone.
Mr. Chair.
At 3 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you for that, Mr. Secretary. Anyway, we will now proceed after this with the presentation of the witness. We will ask you later how we will proceed with this. But before that, Congresswoman Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is because we've already had quite a discourse about wiretapping and putting in jammers. First of all, Mr. Chair, I think we should reconfigure our perspective. It would seem as though, even from the presentation of the OIC, of the Bureau of Corrections, that we have a defeatist attitude about these contraband items existing inside the New Bilibid prison. When what this is supposed to be about is preventing all of these contraband items to enter, one of which would be cell phones, because these are, if I may share my own experience in transforming the CPDRC, or the Cebu Provincial Detention and Rehabilitation Center of the province of Cebu. The old jail was actually what the new looks like today. We had our kobols, we had our mayors, we even had a gobernador. But we changed all of that. I think there has to be an entire overhaul of how things are being done. First, in seeing to it that contraband items, drugs, guns, cell phones, all of these are contraband. We cannot even be talking about whether we should wiretap or jam. These are contraband items. These are not supposed to be allowed inside the prison. Let us change our perspective.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that.
Meron din po bumabagabag sa akin nakinig ako rin kay officer ng staff. Sinabi niya, substantially reduced na ang shabu sa loob. Bakit may shabu pa rin po meron? Kaya ang tatanong ko po kay Secretary Aguirre, simple question. Meron pa po bang manufacturing ng shabu o meron pa rin po bang shabu sa loob ng bilibid ngayon?
Wala na po sigurong manufacturing. But tulad ng sinabi ko, meron pang cellphone. Yung mga cellphone na yan ang ginagamit nila sa pag-order. Kung halimbawa, meron silang nangangailangan sila sa loob, order lamang po sila at may papasok. Pero hindi na katulad noon. According to many inmates, ay mga 90% reduced na sila. As a matter of fact, makikita ninyo even doon sa sulat ni JB Sebastian na gawa ng pagpasok ng SAP na sinasabi ni JB Sebastian na ngayon daw lamang siya nakaramdam na siya ay talagang preso.
Anyway, sige. Siguro we can learn from yung experience of Cebu. Baka you might wish to share your views on
Mr.
that.
Chair,
No.
in as much that the Secretary of Justice will still have to present his witnesses, which is the subject matter. So, can we defer the interpellation first and allow the Secretary of Justice to present his witnesses in order that we can move on with our proceedings today? Mr. Chair,
Mr. Chairman, I second that because we have high-value inmates waiting inside our area here so that they can be returned to their
okay, so
place of confinement already and not waiting there outside wherever they are.
We give back the floor to the Secretary of Justice, Mr. Justice.
For the presentation of
sino ho bang unang ipepresenta natin?
Ang una po namin tatawagin bilang resource person ay si Rodolfo Magleo E. Tamayo, isang dating major ng pulis.
Can the page please assist the entry of this particular witness?
Saan po kaya natin tatayo ang witness?
Bigyan natin ang proseso natin ito, kayo po ang mag-conduct ng direct?
Ako po magko-conduct ng direct at yun ang utos ng committee sa akin kagabi.
Sige po.
Mr. Chairman, I suggest that the witness will stay across the Secretary of Justice para hindi naman sila magkatabi. Para pwedeng bigyan nyo ng konting space dyan.
Spasyo.
Ayan, doon para naman po
baka magbulungan.
Pasok nila. So sa ngayon ang nangyayari ay iniintay ng mga mambabatas na ipasok ang unang testigong haharap sa kanila na si Rodolfo Magleo. Isa siyang retired PNP official na sasalang bilang unang testigo sa pagdinig ng Kamara kaugnay ng proliferation of illegal drugs sa New Bilibid Prison. Anim ang inaasahang testigong haharap sa pagdinig ngayong araw at una pa lang ito na si Rodolfo Magleo. Ang iba pa na inaasahan na haharap ngayon ay sina Rafael Ragos, isang NBI Deputy Director, si Jovencio Ablen at ang mga inmate na si Jaime Pacho, Herbert Colanco, Noel Martinez at Joel Capones. Bago ito ay dinala daw muna yung mga testigo na yan sa isang secure na area dito sa Batasan at isa-isa lamang silang ipapasok sa Andaya Hall kung saan isinasagawa ang pagdinig. Kani-kanina lamang ay nagsalita na rin yung ilang mga resource persons gaya ng OIC ng Bureau of Corrections at ng Special Action Force para magbigay ng background information sa kung ano na nga ba yung nangyayari sa New Bilibid Prison. As of now ay iniintay na lamang ng mga mababatas yung pagpasok ng unang testigo na again ay si Rodolfo Magleo. Hindi natin matiyak kung hanggang anong oras tatagal ito at inaasahan nila na lahat itong anim na ito ay maisasala ngayong araw. Handa naman na daw yung mga mambabatas na mag-interpellate o magtanong sa investigasyon.
Nandiyan na ba? Nandiyan na ba yung si Mr. Magleo? Asan na si Mr. Magleo? Direct siya. Hindi palalimin.
Sa ngayon ay inaantabayanan na lang ng House Committee on Justice ang pagpasok ng unang testigo sa Andaya Hall dito pa rin sa Batasang Pambansa. Yung si Magleo ay nakapagbigay na ng affidavit at sa kanyang sinumpaang salaysay ay
although hindi naman natin kukontrol. Hindi, yung per witness anong Mr. Secretary, with respect to this particular witness, Magleo, may we know how long your direct examination will be? Just for the guidance of the committee, and then we will allow interpellations thereafter.
Mahaba-haba po ito, marami siyang sasabihin. So baka it will baka umabot ng mga 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Or, it could be less. It could be less.
Hanggang so 12:30. Is it safe to assume that per witness 30 minutes tayo?
Yung pong iba mas mabilis kasi maigsi lang yung iba eh. Pero yung iba talagang mga ganon, mga 30 minutes.
30 minutes. So 3.5 hours. Di ba? More or less. Kasi anim.
Opo.
Maximum yun. Maximum. Kasi baka pwedeng bumaba rin.
Maximum na siguro because what I'm going to do, hindi ko na susundin yung talagang strict rules of court ng procedure.
Please.
Parang para mapabilis lang, gagamitin ko na rin yung hindi na tayo magiging strictly to follow the,
we will relax the
rules of court. Opo.
So, for an orderly conduct of the proceeding, ang gagawin po natin, isa-isa ay ipapasok natin. After that, magdidirect si Secretary Aguirre, and then we will open the floor for interpellation. And then comes the next witness para makafocus tayo dun sa particular witnesses. Okay, so are we ready? Andiyan na ba? Mr. Secretary, are you confident that we can cover 6 witnesses today? Kasi kung hindi naman, pwede nating i-manage ito na kung ilan lang ang pwede talaga. Kasi yung 30 minutes mo, plus yung interpellation, yun ang hindi natin masabi.
Siguro
sa tingin mo, ilan ang mga witness na pwede natin i-cover ngayon?
baka po minimum 3 hanggang 4.
3 and 4, 3 to 4. So siguro ano na muna natin
Bilisan
yung
po
dalawa
natin para
makover lahat.
although meron kasing portions na talagang hindi maaaring bilisan at
si si Magleo muna ang ating isa lang ngayon ha. Nasaan si Magleo? Yan na ba? O ikaw. So, Comsec, please. Comsec?
Sasang kamay.
Please take his oath before we proceed.
I state your name. Do solemnly swear.
Dolfo Magleo.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will tell the truth.
That I will tell the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay, Mr. Magleo, do you wish to be assisted by a counsel? Meron ka bang abogado?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sino itong abogado mo?
Attorney Salvador.
Attorney Salvador. Nasaan si Attorney Salvador?
From the Public Attorney's Office, Your Honor.
Saan siya?
Here, Your Honor.
Sige. So, please be reminded that your role is just to assist him in the protection of his rights, no? Pero yung sasabihin niya dito ay dapat manggaling sa kanya. Okay? So, yung buong katotohanan lamang.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So, can you please, anong pangalan niyo po? For the record, counsel.
Attorney Rigel Salvador po from the Public Attorney's Office. Rigel, Your Honor. Rigel po. R-I-G-E-L.
Rigel Salvador from the PAO. Assisting witness Magleo. So, Mr. Secretary of Justice, please.
thank you very much, Mr. Chair. With the kind permission of the Honorable Chair, may I proceed?
Please proceed.
Ginoong Rodolfo Magleo Itamayo.
Mr. Secretary, Mr. Chairman, just clarity. Have they been informed of the immunity granted to them? And are they expressly admitting it? Because that's a requirement under the law, just to be clear. And the condition attached there that they should state the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so that the immunity will apply to them.
Mr. Magleo, kanina habang kayo nasa labas ay nagkaroon sa application ninyo ay pinirmahan na ni Speaker na kayo ay magbigyan ng immunity sa pagtestigo. Nangangulugan na yung lahat ng sasabihin ninyo dito sa investigasyong ito ay hindi magagamit laban sa iyo kahit saang forum. Ngayon, pero mayroon niyang kondisyon na ang sasabihin ninyo ay yung buong katotohanan at pawang katotohanan lamang. Tinatanggap mo ba itong immunity mong ito na mayroong kondisyong ganon?
Opo, Your Honor.
So, it is accepted, Mr. Chair.
Please proceed.
Ginoong Rodolfo Magleo Itamayo. Sabihin mo nga sa kagalang-galang na kumiting ito ang lahat ng mapapagkilanlan sa iyong pagkatao, taga saan ka nakatira?
Ako po ay Ako po ay dating Chief Inspector ng Philippine National Police. I was convicted of kidnapping last 2004 and I was at maximum security compound since April of 2004, Your Honor. Until now, Your Honor.
Sinabi mong ikaw ay dating Chief Inspector ng Philippine National Police at ikaw ay nakakulong ngayon sa maximum security compound. Alam mo ba itong isang organisasyon na Kalasag Organization, kung ano ito?
Isa akong founder dyan sa Kalasag Organization, Your Honor. It's an organization of former Philippine National Police, Integrated National Police, and the Philippine Constabulary, Your Honor, kung saan ako ang chairman ng 2 beses, Your Honor, until now.
Ngayon, ito bang si DOJ Secretary Laila de Lima ay kilala mo?
Kilala ko noon pa, Your Honor. And the first time we personally met was sometimes on mid-year of 2011, Your Honor.
Ito bang New Bilibid Prison, ito ba'y papaano, ano ang kilala ito ng anong mga pangalan? Katulad ng Las Vegas,
Your Honor, during the tenure of then Secretary de Lima, the maximum security compound ay tinaguriang Little Las Vegas. And at the same time, Wild West, Your Honor. And may I explain that, Your Honor?
Sige, tuloy mo.
Little Las Vegas. Dahil maraming concerts na nangyayari, Your Honor, and it was not ordinary concerts.
Ba't ano mga concerts itong sinasabi mo? Anong concerts to?
Concert ng mga celebrities, Your Honor. Ng mga famous celebrities.
Katulad ng mga nino?
Nila Freddie Aguilar. Siya, plain singer siya. Sharon Conita. Mocha Girls performances of Mocha Girls, Ethel Boba. I do not know. I cannot recall the name of the dancers anymore, Your Honor. And several comedians, celebrities, Your Honor.
Nung panahong ito na head ng DOJ, si Secretary de Lima, meron bang mga cellphone ng mga inmates nun?
Yes, Your Honor. I stated in my affidavit during the time of Secretary de Lima sa directorship nila, Director Pangilinan and Director Bukayo, almost 80% of the inmates have cell phones, Your Honor, and gadgets, Your Honor.
Nag-mention mo yung meron kang ginawang salaysay. Totoo ba yan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Meron ka bang copy nung salaysay na yan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ilang pahina yung salaysay na yan?
Four copies, Your Honor.
Four pages? 4 pages?
Four pages, Your Honor.
Yan bang salaysay mo yan ay puro katotohanan ng nilalaman?
Yes, Your Honor.
At yan ay sinusumpan mong muli sa ngayon?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ngayon, sinabi mo dito sa inyong salaysay, nahawak mo ngayon na sana'y lagyan natin ng marka bilang Exhibit A, na ang maximum security compound ay nabansagan bilang Drug Trade Center of the Philippines. Bakit mo sinabi ito?
Naging Drug Trade Center of the Philippines during the time of then Secretary de Lima, Your Honor. Dahil rampant po sa bilibid, sa maximum security compound, doon ang trading ng drug business sa buong Pilipinas, Your Honor. Maraming Chinese nationals, Taiwanese nationals, Malaysian nationals, and the Hong Kong nationals na nakulong na drug lords, Your Honor. And they have their respective Pinoy drug lords, Your Honor, to do the local marketing, Your Honor. But some big-time drug lords outside ay nag-order directly from the Chinese drug lords, Your Honor. Hindi lang yun, Honor, pati sa loob ng maximum security compound mismo, Your Honor, ay maraming droga.
Sinabi mong maraming mga iba't ibang lahi na nandun sa maximum at sila ay nagdi-deal ng droga. Totoo ba yan?
Opo, Your Honor.
Ipaliwanag mo nga sa kagalang-galang na committee natin kung papaano ang takbo ng negosyo o ng drug trade sa loob ng bilibid.
By means of cellphone, Your Honor. Texting, calling, Your Honor. Let's say, itong drug lord, itong Chinese drug lord, no? Supplier siya. No? Mga big-time na Pinoy players sa loob ng maximum ay lumalapit doon sa big-time Chinese drug lord. No? Itong mga Pinoy players ngayon, they have their players outside. May mga agents sila sa labas. No? Covering Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, Your Honor. Through cellphone, Your Honor, magkukontakan sila. Yung tao ng foreign national drug lord ko, siyang magbibigay ng droga doon sa tao ng Pilipino at magmi-meet sila sa labas.
Yan ay sa labas
Just the
ng bilibid.
trading lang ang sa loob, Your Honor.
So ang order ay ginagawa sa loob ng bilibid pero ang transaksyon ng pagpapalitan ng pera at droga ay sa labas. Ganun
Yes,
ba?
Your Honor. Yes.
Ngayon, sino-sino? Mag-name ka nga o pangalanan mo nga ilang mga sinasabi mong Chinese drug lords.
Peter Ko, Your Honor. Ben Marcelo.
Sino pa?
Jackson Lee. Yonyeng. Ang Si. Jimmy Ang. Alex Chen.
Okay.
Mga ipapalayo lang naalala ko, Your Honor, hindi na tunay ng pangalan kasi ang mga Chinese, puro nicknames ang pangalan nila.
Okay, so yan ang mga... Nasaan sila ngayon? Yung mga pinangalanan mong yan, saan sila nakakulong?
Yung iba ay nasa building 14, Your Honor, at may nabanggit ako na nasa maximum pa rin, Your Honor.
Ngayon, sinasabi mong malaking pera na pag ang inorderan mo ay itong mga Chinese drug lords katulad ni Peter Ko, di ba? Sabi mo, malaking pera na ang nagpapalitan?
Opo, Your Honor.
Bakit mo nasabing malaking pera ang nagpapalitan? Pag ang in-order na yung mga big drug lords katulad ni Peter Ko.
One time, Your Honor, some month of September 2012, I had a drinking spree with JB Sebastian, Peter Ko, Aguho, at iba pa. Big time. I was only invited, Your Honor, and then biru-biruan kung ano-anong topic na pag-usapan. At doon tumanim sa isip ko yung nabanggit ni Peter Ko. Ang collectibles niya, Your Honor, ay almost 1 billion, Your Honor. Collectibles for that month, Your Honor.
Collectible lang yun sa isang buwan lamang?
Usually, Your Honor, mga big-time drug lords, pag mga ganun, 3 months duration, Your Honor, yung mga ganong collectible.
Ngayon, sinabi mo rito sa paragraph 5 ng iyong affidavit na nakilala mo ng personal si Laila de Lima at si Ronnie Palisok. Dayan. Kailan ito nangyari?
It was on the mid-year of 2011, Your Honor. For the first time, na-meet ko personally then Secretary Laila de Lima at si Ronnie Palisok Dayan, Your Honor.
Ano ang sirkumstansya o pagkakataon at kayo ay na-meet mo si Secretary de Lima at saka si Ronnie Dayan?
Apat kaming inmate leaders noon, Your Honor. Tinawagan kami, pinatawag kami ni Secretary de Lima sa BCJ Park inside the maximum security compound. So pumunta kami doon and then sinalubong ako, nandun na kami sa kubo. Sinalubong ako nitong si Ronnie Dayan dahil kababayan ko raw siya. He introduced himself as captain from the Philippine Army. Nalaman niya na chief inspector ako ng Philippine National Police. So nagkakwentuhan kami. He told me na ikaw kabayan, leader ka rito. We were talking in our dialect, Your Honor, Panggalatok. Sabi niya sa akin, ikaw kabayan, aasa ako sa iyo. Tumulong ka sa kay secretary, tumulong ka sa Bucor, may kalasag kayo para ma-maintain ang peace and order dito sa maximum security compound, Your Honor. At may mga pinag-usapan pa kami, Your Honor.
So anong nangyari doon sa nung kayo ipatawag? Ilan ba kayo? Apat na pinatawag na mga inmates ni Secretary De Lima?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ano ang bukod doon sa pagpapatawag na yun? Ano pang sinabi sa inyo?
Tungkol sa sinabi ni Secretary De Lima sa amin, okay kayo, aasa ako na kayo ay tutulong sa pag-maintain ng peace and order dito sa maximum security compound. May mga bagay-bagay pang mga sinabi, hindi ko na maalala yung mga iba. At the end part, sabi niya kay Ronnie, palisok Dayan, Ronnie, kunin mo ang cellphone numbers ng apat na yan at ibigay mo rin ang numbers ko sa kanila.
Binigay mo na yung apat ang cellphone ninyo kay Ronnie?
Yes, Your Honor.
Binigay naman ba ni Ronnie yung cellphone ni Secretary De Lima?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anong instruction ni Secretary De Lima sa pagpibigay ng cellphone niya sa inyo, kung meron?
After that, Your Honor, pag-meet namin, kami dalaw lang ni Ronnie Dayan ang nagko-communicate through cellphone, Your Honor. And before bago ko i-detalye yun, Your Honor, pwede bang sabihin ko muna yung napag-usapan namin ni Ronnie Dayan bago kami umakyat ng kubo para makausap si Secretary De Lima.
Sige, pag-usapan ninyo. Pakisalaysay mo.
Bago kami umakyat ng kubo para mag-usap, para kausapin na as an audience kay Secretary De Lima, bilang Panggalatok, first time namin nag-usap bilang magkakabayan, ay cordial yung conversation namin. Sabi ka ni Ronnie Palisco sa akin, kabayan, si Secretary De Lima sa May 2013 ay kakandidatong senador, si Secretary De Lima. Sabi ko sa kanya, napakaswerte mo kabayan, magiging bodyguard ka ng isang senador. Hindi ako magiging bodyguard kabayan. Bakit naman? Sabi ni ma'am sa akin, kakandidato akong mayor sa Orbistondo, Pangasinan. Sabi ko na sa kanya, wow, big time ka na pala ngayon, dami mong pera, magastos siya na. Hindi, si ma'am ang gagastos para sa akin. Sabi, pag pinagmaybang pa niya, sabi niya, alam mo, tayong Panggalatok, sabi niya, macho tayo. Sabi niya, yan ang puna natin sa buhay. Sabi ko naman, Your Honor, sabi ko, dapat magpamacho ako. Para paglabas ko ng kulungan, may magpupundo rin ng pagkakandidato ko sa pagka-barangay captain. Yun ang sinabi ko, Your Honor.
O ano sabi ni Ronnie Dayan dun sa sabi mong yun?
Tawanan na lang kami, Your Honor. Apira na lang kami, Your Honor.
Ba't nagtawanan kayo?
Iniyabangan niya ako. Konting yabang din na
Okay. Ano ba ang relasyon ni Ronnie Dayan kay Secretary De Lima, kung meron?
He told me that he's a chief escort and bodyguard of then Secretary De Lima, Your Honor.
Ito'y 2011 pa lang?
2011, mid-year of 2011, Your Honor.
Okay. Ano pang nakita mo sa pagiging bodyguard or security ni Ronnie Dayan kay Secretary De Lima?
Your Honor, wala akong nakita. Pero I could read between the lines. I could sense it.
Anong nabasa
na may something intimate, Your Honor.
Ano ba yung intimate na parang nabasa mo? Although you could read between the lines. Anong ibig mong sabihin nun?
Your Honor, Ang isang, naging major ako, so mas mataas yung salary ko sa isang captain. And here comes isang ordinaryong captain na baryo sa Orbisto ng Pangasinan. No? Mali lang sahod niya. And here comes, niyabangan niya ako na pupuntuhan daw siya ni Madam, ni Secretary de Lima. So something is intimate, Your Honor.
Ngayon, alam ba ni Secretary de Lima na may cellphone kayo? Nakita ba niya?
Hindi po, Your Honor. Pero binigay namin ang mga cellphone numbers namin, Your Honor. Pagkakuha ni Ronnie, ibinigay kay Secretary de Lima, pinakita. At pinabigyan din niya yung cellphone number ng Secretary sa amin. By that alone, Your Honor, alam niya may mga cellphone kami.
Sinabi mong nag-mention ka ng isang JB Sebastian. Sino ba itong JB Sebastian?
JB Sebastian, Jose Niño Sebastian. Kilala ko po siya, Your Honor.
Bakit naman siya nakilala?
Sa komando ako, Your Honor. At isa akong confident ni JB Sebastian sa lahat ng bagay-bagay, Your Honor, even personal matters.
Ang ibig mo ba sabihin ay si Ronnie Sebastian ay isa ring high value, si JB Sebastian ay isa ring high value inmate? Talagang nakukulong din siya?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ngayon, sinabi mong naging confidante ka niya. Paano mo nasabi yung ikaw ay naging confidante ni JB Sebastian?
Ang very striking na nangyari sa bilibid na nakakagulantang ay yung pag-transfer ng tinaguriang bilibid 19, Your Honor, na nakita ko kung gaano siya kagaling, gaano siya ka-influence, na naging king of drug lords sa bilibid, Your Honor.
Ipaliwanag mo nga yung sinasabi mong yan para maintindihan ng ating mga tagapakinig.
3 days before na-transfer ang mga tinaguriang bilibid 19, and a night before they were transferred, Your Honor, sinabi niya sa akin, on the last night, on the night before the transfer, sabi niya sa akin,
ilang minutes na?
Sir, sabi niya, tingnan mo ang mangyayari mamayang madaling araw. Tingnan mo ang mangyayari mamayang madaling araw.
Okay.
Mawawala na rito ang mga mayayabang, yung mga lumalaking ulo, mga sagabal sa buhay ko.
Naintindihan mo ba yung sinasabi ni JB Sebastian sa'yo?
Nauna ba
na mamawala na yung mga mayayabang at malaki ang ulo?
Your Honor, yes, Your Honor, kasi 3 days ago, sinabi na rin niya sa akin, and here comes the final night, and night before their transfer, we had a drinking spree, Your Honor.
Doon sa drinking spree mo yun, anong nangyari doon? Kung meron?
Sinabi niya sa akin na maraming mawawala dito sa maximum na mga foreign nationals and Pinoy drug lords, Your Honor.
So, nangyari ba naman yung sinasabi niya yun?
Yes, Your Honor.
Paano?
Starting ng madaling araw, siguro mga between 4 to 5 ay sinerch ang mga kubol ng mga 19, no? At prior to that, Your Honor, it was well planned. The move was well planned, Your Honor. Hindi lang si JB Sebastian ang kumilos doon, Your Honor. May mga kasama siya na 3, Your Honor. Si ex-Superintendent Rafael Cardeño, Class 82 of PMA. Ex-Police Senior Inspector Loriman Manrique. And ex-SPO1 Edgardo Herrera, Your Honor. Sila nagplano, Your Honor. Kasi po, nakikinabang din sila kay JB Sebastian, Your Honor. Sila ang nakakaalam ng mga ginagawa ni JB Sebastian, Your Honor. Gaya ng yung mga gastos niya during time of Director Pangilinan, gumagasto daw siya in a day, in a single day, abot ng 1 million ang gastos niya para sa Bucor, Your Honor, pag may Bureau Affairs.
Gastos nino?
Ni JB Sebastian.
1 milyon, isang araw?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Bago natin ipagpatuloy yan, pakitingnan mo yung paragraph number 10 ng iyong affidavit. Meron kang sinabi dito na nakakalungkot man, ako ang aking partner leader, isa sa mga gang organization sa hindi nagtagal at pagkatapos silang buwan ay tinanggal kami sa aming posisyon bilang leader na hindi namin inaabot ang 50,000 linggo ang quota ni Dayan. Paliwanag mo nga kung ano yung quota na ito.
After we had a personal meeting with Secretary de Lima, then Secretary de Lima, my communication with Mr. Dayan was through cell phone. 2 weeks after we met, palaging nagte-text sa amin. No? Sabi niya, we need your support. Kayo babanggitin yung pangalan namin. No? Forwarded sa amin lahat. Sabi niya na kailangan namin ng tulong nyo na panggastos sa opisina, sa DOJ, as required by then Secretary de Lima, Your Honor. Ngayon, dahil sa kami ng aking partner, hindi namin na-meet ang 50,000 per week. Ang naibibigay namin pagpupunta siya doon, si Dayan ay 3,000, 5,000, hindi pa abot ng 10,000, Your Honor. Hindi nagtagal ay ilang buwan ay natanggal kami, Your Honor, sa aming bilang inmate leaders.
Itong may isang drug lord na kayang magbigay ng 100,000 lang sa lingguang quota, ito ba'y sino yun? At yan ba yung quota niya? Tingnan mo sa paragraph number 10 mo. Yung last sentence.
Hindi ko alam kung nakapagbigay na 100,000, Your Honor, pero mamimit niya ang requirement ni Ronnie Dayan, Your Honor.
Na magbigay linggo-linggo ng 100,000.
Kayang magbigay, Your Honor, pero hindi yata umabot ng 100,000, parang just like yung quota lang, Your Honor, 50,000 a week, Your Honor.
Okay, balik tayo dun sa naiwan natin kanina na kayo ay yung pagbalipat sa New Bilibid. Ikaw ba'y kasama na nalipat sa Bilibid 19 sa NBI detention cell?
No, Your Honor. Hindi ako big time, Your Honor. Isa lang akong nagtatrabaho, tumutulong sa mga kapwa inmates ko sa maximum, Your Honor, sa pamamagitan ng functions ng Kalasag Organization, Your Honor.
So itong mga inilipat sa NBI, yan yung malalaking drug lords, tama ba?
Yes, Your Honor. And may I explain, Your Honor, bakit sila ang napili?
At yan ang mga drug lords na kakompetensya ni JB Sebastian.
Exactly, Your Honor.
Ipaliwanag mo nga.
Yung mga tinaguriang Bilibid 19 ay inilipat dahil yung mga iba ay hindi na nakipag-cooperate kay JB. Dahil hindi naman talaga drug lord sa yung lahat ng Bilibid 19. Tinutukuan sila na bibigyan kita ng 20 kilos, 30 kilos, and make sure they dispose mo yan sa loob ng isang buwan. Hindi kaya na mga yon. So, hindi sila
at ngayon po ay nagpapatuloy pa rin ang pagdinig ng Kamara sa proliferation ng illegal drugs sa loob ng New Bilibid Prison. Sa ngayon po ay nakasala ngayon ang unang testigo na si Rodolfo Magleo. Isa po siyang dating PNP Chief Inspector na malapit daw kay JB Sebastian. So inaasahan natin na after nito ay may mga ilan pang testigo na haharap at i-interpolate ng mga mambabatas dito sa loob ng Andaya Hall sa Batasang Pambansa. For the meantime ay bumalik muna tayo sa studio ng PTV4 para sa iba pang mga balita.
Ni JB Sebastian.